latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good morning. It's 5:02. I'm Manda Factor, and here's what's happening. Seattle City Council President wants Mayor Katie Wilson to close 5 side streets off Aurora Avenue North. Joy Hollingsworth says the traffic calming measures put in last week are not curbing gun violence. A Bellevue man charged with running a human trafficking ring for nearly 2 years. King County prosecutors say 21-year-old Nikita Tiukalo used force and fraud to push young women into sex acts for profit. He's being held on $5 million bail. Mercer Island sophomore Elliot Abramson has died after being hit in the neck by a lacrosse ball at a recruiting event last Monday. His family says the 16-year-old will save lives as an organ donor. And the Mariners beat Baltimore 6-3 yesterday behind a Josh Naylor grand slam. It's 5:03. That's time for a check on your early drive on this Tuesday morning. Chris Sullivan is back. Welcome.
Good. Glad to be here.
We're in for it today.
Yeah, if the weather is anything like it was for my drive out of Snohomish County, we're in.
It was pouring when I came in.
It was buckets of stuff coming down. Yeah, it wasn't quite as bad here in Seattle, but up north and around, it was pretty nasty. So far, we're in pretty good shape, though. Overall, our travel times are right where they should be, only 35 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. Northbound I-5, only 35 minutes from Olympia to Tacoma. Federal Way to Seattle, same deal, about 30-35 up the Valley Freeway as well. Not even seeing anything yet, working our way through those Renton S-curves, under 15 minutes on the drive there. There is some slowing on westbound 18 over the top of Tiger Mountain, more yellow than red, but it's pretty early to have something going on up there. Across the lake, we have no problems. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Bringing you Seattle's morning news since 1974. This is KIRO Newsradio.
Good morning. It is 5:04. On this morning's edition of Start Here, ABC's Brad Milkey gets an update on the war in Iran with Chief Washington correspondent Jonathan Karl.
If President Trump was hoping the Iran war would just kind of slowly dwindle to an end, that is not what's happened. It continues to develop in fits and starts, whether it's oil tankers being shot at as they try to leave the Strait of Hormuz, that's still blocked, by the way, to Israel and Hezbollah trading fire around Lebanon. Meanwhile, for all the rhetoric about Iran's military being decimated, it clearly still has firepower. When it launched missiles on Sunday night, it might not have been a huge barrage by the numbers, it was just 11 ballistic missiles, but each of these ballistic missiles are the size of a small building, capable of wiping out entire neighborhoods. Israel shot these missiles down and then fired a much larger attack at Iran itself.
Israel had launched significant strikes on multiple parts of Iran during the night, so this was a major escalation.
Israel has said it was aiming at military installations, but these included targets in Tehran. Iran responded with still more missile attacks. They were joined by rocket launches from Yemen, where Houthi rebels fired on Iran's behalf. This quickly became the biggest exchange of fire since the opening weeks of the war. And then, just like that, it stopped. Each country now says it will hold its fire. Now, maybe this was all calibrated by each country to send a show of strength while still allowing wiggle room to back down, but that wiggle room is quickly shrinking, and President Trump is in a very tight spot. Let's go to ABC's Chief Washington correspondent, Jonathan Karl. He's on the north lawn of the White House right now. And John, you actually got the president on the phone for a one-on-one conversation kind of in the midst of all this. So does the White House believe this was just a skirmish, or are these countries, Iran and Israel, back to firing at each other on the regular?
Well, I can tell you what the president thinks of it. I mean, he was concerned. He said that his message to Netanyahu, and he had 2 conversations with him, one after the Iranians initially attacked Israel, to say don't respond. But although he characterized the conversation somewhat differently to me, he said that he told Netanyahu, do what's in your best judgment, but don't hurt the deal. I don't want the deal to be hurt. And clearly Trump felt that an Israeli counterstrike would hurt the deal. But the Israelis went through and struck again. The president had a subsequent conversation with Netanyahu, and that eventually led to where we are now, which is both sides actually did stop. The thing that he brought up was that he said nobody was killed on either side in this counter volley. So in other words, the damage was limited, and negotiations, he insisted, are actively ongoing right now.
And by the way, I feel like a lot of Americans would assume if the U.S. tells Israel to do something, they'll probably do it. But here, if Trump was saying like, hey, maybe show some restraint, that might not have been what happened. Do we have a sense as to why, or like what the thinking is from the Israelis?
Well, I'll tell you the way Trump characterized the Israeli thinking and why they went through and attacked anyway. He said, and this is a direct quote, they had to get it out of their system. And he also used the word retribution, that Netanyahu wanted to get retribution for the attack on Israel. Now, Trump also pointed out the way he characterized it was not just an Iranian attack followed by an Israeli counterstrike, but he said it was an Israeli attack, meaning the attack on Lebanon.
Like, this didn't come out of nowhere. This was after Israel fired on Beirut.
Yeah. But, look, Netanyahu is under enormous pressure at home. The idea of not responding to a missile attack, multiple missile attacks on Israel would be very difficult for a guy who, is the wartime leader, for better or worse, of Israel.
The other thing that stuck out to me in your reporting here, John, about this phone call was you said the president, I couldn't tell if he was suggesting Benjamin Netanyahu not run again for prime minister and like what that means. Like what is their relationship at this point?
Yeah. Let me give you the full context on this. I said, what do you say to those who say that Netanyahu is never going to want to see an end to the war? Because there's a whole, line of thinking that Netanyahu has his own political problems, his legal problems,
right.
And as long as the war is on, he can push those aside. And that's when he just said, well, maybe he doesn't, he may not want to run again. I mean, he's a wartime leader. Maybe he's, effectively said maybe he's had enough. It was not an answer I expected, because I haven't heard anybody suggest that Netanyahu is ready to go off to a quiet retirement. I haven't heard anybody in or out of Israel suggest that, but that is precisely what President Trump suggested to me.
Last question, John. If these negotiations don't work, or if these attacks go back and forth and it just makes it, basically forces these negotiations to get derailed, what happens then? What is Trump's vision of the next steps here?
The way he has characterized this, and again, late yesterday when I spoke to him, is, the alternatives that he goes back to a state of, aggressive military action against Iran. But in this conversation, he made it clear that there are severe costs. There's the costs in terms of U.S. military firepower, which he said is significant. And he also said, and this was the first time I'd really heard him suggest this, that the attacks on Iran, once the war were over, Iran would have to be rebuilt, the infrastructure, the bridges, and that the Americans would be part of the rebuilding of Iran, almost like a Marshall Plan. I'd never heard him suggest anything like this.
That sounds like nation building. Like we talk about nation building.
It sounds a heck of a lot like nation building. He did add, of course, we get half the oil. He understands the cost here at home, and by at home, in the United States. And he says if we go back to a state of full-on war with Iran, the one thing that'll be guaranteed is that the Strait of Hormuz will not be reopened anytime soon. Look, he sounds, ever, as you can tell in his public statements, and especially in this phone conversation, he does not want this war to go on. He's got domestic political reasons for that. He's got economic reasons. He wants this over.
All right. Really interesting. I know President Trump he talks to reporters on the phone sometimes, rarely these like long 15-minute convos. So, John Carl, we'll wait for the next one. Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, Brad.
And one last thing. It's one of the interactions virtually every American is familiar with, ordering fast food at a drive-thru. Everyone knows how it goes, whether it's kind of a casual Good Burger vibe.
Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order?
Or something more fast-paced.
Hi, can I take your order?
55 burgers, 55 fries, 55 tacos, 55
And in that magnificent clip from I Think You Should Leave on HBO, you can see his ridiculous order piling up on a screen, but y'all know there's a real person punching it in. Those days could be over soon. Elizabeth, I hear you're in a car. Are you at a drive-thru right now?
Brad, I did spend all morning at the McDonald's drive-thru. Not one of the fancy ones quite yet.
This is ABC's Elizabeth Scholze, who says, like many companies, McDonald's is embracing AI in the form of a chatbot named Archie.
So when you pull up to the drive-thru, instead of hearing that person on the other side taking your order, maybe asking you questions, it's actually an automated AI chatbot.
Welcome back. Bienvenidos. Please share your mobile code or start your order now.
And a McDonald's franchise owner actually shared video of this new AI technology that was on display last week at McDonald's Worldwide Conference.
She says this demo looks a lot like any conversation with another chatbot like ChatGPT. You speak out loud in English or in Spanish, and you can see on the screen what the program hears you saying along with its response.
I'll also get 3 McSpicy meals.
Is that with barbecue sauce?
No, hot honey, please.
Got it. Anything else for you today?
If it mishears you or you change your mind, just like in real life, you can correct them. McDonald's claims it's 90% accurate.
In some cases, it apparently even seemed to remember people's orders. If you drove up, it remembered you and asked if you wanted the usual.
McDonald's claims this will allow their kitchens to be more efficient, quicker, more accurate, fewer miscommunications or chit-chat. Critics say this is McDonald's finishing the puzzle it's been trying to solve for years: how to take those pesky humans out of the equation.
This definitely means humans would be doing less, at least when it comes to the drive-through ordering, if this is implemented across restaurants, which it's not right now. But what McDonald's has said is that that doesn't mean that those humans' jobs are getting replaced. Instead, they would be able to work in the kitchen, prepare food, prepare beverages, which is a big push for McDonald's right now.
It's not just McDonald's either. Taco Bell and Wendy's are trying out similar programs. This is clearly how many chain restaurants envision the future of fast food dining. And sure, human employees can mess things up. Some can even be annoying or checked out. But for generations of Americans who liked sensing another person at the other end of that intercom, the question remains, at what cost?
That's ABC's Brad Milkey. It's 5:13, time for a check on our forecast. It is going to be very wet for today. Look for lots of rain. It continues. There are some very deep puddles around this morning, so take it easy on the roads. We should taper off in the afternoon with some sun breaks and a high of 62. 49 overnight, and then here we go with our dry stretch. Mainly dry tomorrow, 66. 75 by Friday, into the 80s on Saturday, and we could push 90 on Sunday. Right now in Seattle, we have pretty steady rain falling. It's 53 degrees. Coming up, a surprise in the primaries down in California. More from ABC's Brad Milkey. Part 2 of the Start Here program is next here on Seattle's Morning News.
This hour of Seattle's Morning News is brought to you by Closets by Design Seattle.
Nick, you know what my dad always used to say?
Oh, which thing? Let me guess. If you put anything on a hot dog besides mustard, it's un-American?
Okay, that's true. Okay, but no, about the word worry. Remember he used to say about the word worry?
Yes, that it's not a verb, but it actually is.
I know it's a verb, but Nick, his point was nothing comes from worrying. You can sit here and worry about all the news and all about the chaos in the world. You worry about your health, but nothing comes of it. You have to take action.
Right.
Like, for instance, you and I, we go into Longevity Medical Clinic. That's an action. It's about taking that action. Like, people can go to Longevity Medical Clinic, take the free health analysis, and then they can find out how they're aging and the things they can do in order to slow down the process to have a big, full, rich life so you can enjoy a hot dog with whatever you want on it.
And now worry is a verb.
See, there you go. So it all starts for you taking action. I was a patient at Longevity long before I started doing these commercials. So get your free health analysis. Go to lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
It started as a puddle.
Where?
In the shower.
Uh-oh.
Then the kitchen sink.
Started backing up?
Yeah.
I know where this is going.
Clogged up.
Right. No problem.
Beg your pardon?
There's no clog we can't clear.
You're Dan.
From Apollo Plumbing.
This is going to get pricey.
How about $83?
To clear my drain?
Apollo Plumbing clears main drains every day.
For $83?
$83 or it's free.
What's the catch?
No catch. We'll even do a camera inspection.
Why's that?
It's the best way to find the cause of your clog.
And it's included?
No extra charge. Truth is, we hate clogs.
I don't love them.
Seen them all.
Ew.
I promise, there's no clog Apollo can't clear.
Guaranteed.
83 or free.
Goodbye, slow drains.
All it takes is an accessible clean out.
And Apollo gets my drains draining again.
You call, we come, it's fixed.
My heroes.
Just doing our job.
Thank you, Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Tune in to The Money Professor with Chris Longworth.
Having some certainty about your plan is definitely going to give you all the advantages.
Chris has the heart of an educator.
If you really want to do this correctly, then you get to enjoy every day of retirement like it's a Saturday. And if you don't, it's a Monday for the rest of your life.
Tune in to The Money Professor with Chris Longworth, Saturdays at 8 a.m. right here on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Seattle's morning news. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime. Seattle's morning news, wherever you are.
Good Tuesday morning to you. It's 5:17. Now a look at the primary election in California with ABC's Trevor Alt on Start Here, hosted by Brad Milkey.
Remember last Tuesday when we were previewing primaries in California? It was all very exciting. A closely contested race for Los Angeles mayor, an unpredictable race for governor, and to top it all off, California's primary system means the top 2 vote getters, whoever they are, get to square off in November. Doesn't matter if you're Democrat, Republican, Independent, top 2 go through. But if you were hoping to learn the results by Tuesday night, you'd be disappointed. Results trickled in.
It appears that we are on track to advance to November.
By Friday, we learned that Democrat Javier Becerra had advanced to the runoff for governor, but we still weren't sure who finished second and who was on the outside looking in. Same story with the LA mayoral race, where Democrat Karen Bass is projected to win, but behind her were 2 other candidates.
I think we can do more.
A younger city councilor named Nithya Raman, also a Democrat.
I think we've been spending an extraordinary amount of money for incremental results without delivering on accountability for residents.
And Spencer Pratt, the former reality star and registered Republican.
I got in this because as a citizen, I felt like my city failed myself, my neighbors, my family.
And as these votes continued to be tallied, second and third places swapped. By last night, the Associated Press was in fact able to project that Raman, not Pratt, will win this. She will continue the race, and he's done. So let's take it to LA right now, where ABC's Trevor Alt is based. Trevor, can you just break down what happened here?
Yeah, so this isn't necessarily a surprise, Brad, but it is frustrating every single election in California that they do take quite a long time to get their results. But again, this isn't something that we're caught off guard by. This is something that even California officials have said, by the way, it's going to take us a couple weeks before we get those final results. That is kind of the result of the way they have set up their entire system. And a lot of Republicans, of course, are deeply frustrated by this because they have been watching some of their candidates lose leads or even get passed in the case of Spencer Pratt. But it was something that we were kind of anticipating to happen. And there's a lot of different reasons why the vote goes so slowly in California. Number one is they make it incredibly easy to vote by mail. They mail out ballots to every voter. And so because of that, because it's so easy that on a time frame over the course of like a month, you fill out your ballot, you drop it off at your convenience. It means that there is very high voter turnout generally compared to other states. But it also means that they're not even done collecting ballots. As long as your ballot is postmarked by Election Day, they're still accepting ballots as late as today. Oh. And then they continue to count all of these mail-in ballots. About 80% of the votes cast in the state of California are mail-in. So that
and then somebody's got to open all those envelopes and put all the things through a machine. It's not as simple as just when everyone shows up to the voting machine.
Correct. And also, paradoxically, a lot of people talk about the concept of fraud from mail-in ballots of, well, you're not showing up in person. The fact that they then have to cross-reference the signatures on the mail-in ballots. They don't just open them and say, okay, count it, we got it. They have a process to make sure you are who you say you are and everything lines up. That also takes time, which slows the voting count. And so it is an argument from California voting officials, actually, that the fact that we're not going fast is evidence that there is not a lot of fraud happening here. And then we also know just generally from voting trends that people who vote over mail-in ballot generally skew Democratic. We have seen that in a lot of different elections over a lot of time, but it doesn't always play out in equal measure. So we've seen different voting results over the past week or so where Nithya Raman has been able to pass Spencer Pratt, whereas Tom Steyer, who's in third place in the governor's race, has not made up a lot of ground over Steve Hilton. There are some differences there, but certainly you can understand it must be frustrating for Republicans to see a lead of 40,000 plus votes for Spencer Pratt on election night, and then every single day when new votes come in, that lead shrinks.
We just don't want cheating in our elections. And you see it happening in California. Those numbers are coming down rapidly. They found a lot of mail-in ballots last night, shockingly.
President Trump has been saying for days now that he outright believes it's rigged. And again, he hasn't presented any evidence of that. And we have certainly not seen any evidence of that. This is following a longstanding trend in California vote counting that goes back quite a long time.
But that's the thing, Trevor. I wonder if the void of information is the thing that actually kind of provides fertile ground for more conspiracy theorists, like to fill that void. So do officials in LA at this point, do they think this has been a success? Like this is how it should work? Or are they like, this kind of gets messy if you get a week out from election day. Do we need to change something? Like, where are they?
I'm sure they don't like the discourse, for sure. I mean, nobody wants to have to wait this long. And even Governor Gavin Newsom is out on Twitter talking about, yeah, we don't like how slow it goes either, but this is kind of the best that we can do it. I think this is something that they know this is always going to cause some headaches, but it also is something where people who work in California government, certainly people who vote in California, they know that this happens every single time because it has happened for years. It's not often that you get national attention on a primary for mayor in Los Angeles. I think people who are not used to seeing the way these votes are tallied are looking at it and saying, this cannot be right. There's something nefarious going on. Whereas the people in California know that this is kind of how it always goes. Now, you might not like it, and that's perfectly understandable to want to get your results as soon as possible. But this is just kind of the way that they do it, given the nature of the system that allows for all of those mail-in ballots.
Right. And for all the false theories about officials trying to rig elections, analysts say Karen Bass would probably prefer to face Spencer Pratt. Like running against a Republican in LA is a lot different than a dogfight against a progressive. And again, there are cameras in there as they are recording the count. Every single indication we have so far is they are going by very rules that Californians themselves voted for. Trevor Alt, they're in LA. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brad.
That's ABC's Brad Milkey. It's 5:23. A look at the weather. It is very wet this morning. Look for steady rain through the morning hours. Should taper off in the afternoon, though, and we'll get to some sun breaks. 62. Do watch out for standing water on the roadways this morning. For tomorrow, here we go. Lots of sunshine. We're going to dry out for tomorrow. 66, partly cloudy, and then mostly sunny for Thursday, Friday, Saturday. By Saturday, we'll be around 80, pushing 90 by Sunday. It looks like Monday will still be hot. The record's 88 on Monday. We're looking for 90. We'll keep you posted. Right now in Seattle, it's raining and 53. Coming up, the morning's top stories, and we're going to hear about the potential dangers of the screw worm from ABC's Jim Ryan. You're listening to KIRO News Radio.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
With Choke Points, we try to answer listeners' questions. It can be as simple as a neighborhood stop sign, or it can be as big as the budget for transportation. I don't care. I'll find the answer for you. It's really easy to get a hold of me at mynorthwest.com. We have a direct link there that gets right to me. You can also do it in the app. You can hit me up on the text line.
Choke Points, presented by Carter Subaru. Tuesdays and Thursdays on KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM.
Nick, you know what's a great thing about going to Longevity Medical Clinic as a couple?
Oh, I absolutely do. When they tell you to do something, you actually do it.
Right. And the same thing with you. When they tell you to do it, because for some reason, when I tell you to do it, you're like, whoa.
I just walk away and roll my eyes.
Exactly. But the great thing about Longevity Medical Clinic, the doctors there know, because we do the blood draw and they look and they can see, they know, they hold us accountable.
Yeah, when I'm under pressure and I know I'm coming in, I know I have to work the program.
Right. Plus, we also want to hold each other accountable for how we take care of ourselves because, you know, we want to have a long, healthy, happy life.
I know. I want every day to torture you as long as I possibly can.
Well, I look forward to it. Here's the great thing about Longevity Medical Clinic. They're working with you. They're holding you accountable because they want you to have a long, healthy, happy life. I was a patient at Longevity long before I started doing these commercials. So get your free health analysis. Go to lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
This week's First Mark Challenge victory goes to my friend Brock Heward. Brock, why did you call First Mark?
It is so good to talk to you. It's been too long, and we made that call. And the only bummer is we waited too long. I know you hear from people that you talk to as well as I do to take the First Mark Insurance Challenge. I just wish we would have done it earlier. The word that comes to my mind is a word I use on my sports show a lot, and that is connective tissue. It's important in team building. It's important to players in a locker room to be connected to others. And when it comes to insurance, it's so complicated. It's stressful, and you just don't even want to deal with it. And that's where the connective tissue of having a pro, having a broker, having a partner, and most most of all, having a teammate like First Mark Insurance was the best connective tissue we could find.
Brock did it. My family did it. You got to do it. It's free. Take the First Mark Challenge. See how much they can save you and how much better your coverage will get. Maybe you will be our next First Mark Challenge victory. Go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
Lots of places can expose you to identity theft.
Oh, no.
That's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity, which is way more than anyone can do on their own. If we find anything suspicious, like new loans or changes to your financial accounts, we alert you right away, all through text, phone, email, or the LifeLock app. Get the alerts that could make all the difference. Save up to 30% with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter.
Do you notice sounds coming from your crawl space or attic, or possibly stale or foul odors in your home? This could be that rodents have gotten into your attic and crawl and have made it their home. They tear up the insulation to make nests to have babies. They contaminate it with their biological waste, which can be harmful to your health. And they ruin your home's energy blanket, costing you thousands of dollars a year. If you even think you may have a problem, call Insulation Northwest today, and we will come to your home as soon as tomorrow and perform a free, no-obligation inspection to determine what the problem is. This inspection normally costs $199, but it's yours free just for calling today. If we discover any problem with rodents in your home, we can get them out and keep them out and restore your home's protective insulation blanket back to brand new condition. Let Insulation Northwest give peace and comfort back to you and your family and save you thousands of dollars in energy savings. Call Insulation Northwest today, the real insulation company.
InsulationNorthwest.com.
Olympic Hot Tub has more ways than ever to achieve total wellness at home. Immerse yourself in a saltwater hot spring spa and let jets melt stress away. Enjoy a refreshing swim in an endless pool swim spa. Retreat to healing warmth and detox in a Tilo sauna. Then awaken mind and body with a cold plunge. You'll be saying, ah, in no time. Your path to wellness starts today at Olympic Hot Tub. Current specials with exciting savings at OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Hey, Jake Skorheim here. Summer means I have a laundry list of exterior home improvements to tackle and no time to do it. Fortunately, the team in the red van has me covered. And of course, I'm talking about Valentine Roofing, the pros that keep me off extension ladders and precarious positions. If your summer home improvement list has a new roof, siding, or a gutter upgrade, you owe it to your home to give Valentine Roofing a call. Once again, they've been awarded the 2025 Best in the Pacific Northwest Awards for Roofing by the Seattle Times. And it really comes down to two things: the best product backed by a lifetime warranty and exceptional customer service. They call that the Valentine experience. It's seamless communication, meticulous cleanup, and extra mile service. And right now, qualified homeowners can take advantage of $0 down, 0% financing with 6 months deferred interest when paid in full within the promotional period. Financing subject to approved credit. Call 206 Roofing to schedule your free estimate today. That's 206 Roofing. And remember, when you see the red Valentine van, you know your home is in good hands.
Insulation rebates from PSE are at historic highs. American Crawl Space and Pest Services gave over $3 million in PSE insulation rebates last year, more than any contractor in Washington. Homeowners, business owners, and PSE trust American Crawl Space and Pest Services. Was your home built before 1990? Visit AmericanCrawl.com to see how much you can save on replacing your insulation.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Giving your liver a spring cleaning is easy with Active Liver. From New Nordic, search for Active Liver by New Nordic on Amazon, CVS, Wegmans, or GNC.
Healthcare costs are rising, and a major driver is hospital prices. They've increased more than 250% over the past 25 years. Families and local businesses are feeling it. At Primera Blue Cross, we're working to change that by negotiating with hospitals to secure fair, responsible prices so you can get the care you need at a cost you can afford. That's coverage that counts. Learn more at couragethatcounts.primera.com.
KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, it's 5:31. I'm Manda Factor. Seattle City Council President wants the mayor to shut down 5 side streets along Aurora Avenue North. Joy Hollingsworth says the temporary traffic calming measures put in last week to curb gun violence simply are not working. The Seattle Times reports Hollingsworth is asking Mayor Katie Wilson to close North 97 through 102nd Streets at Aurora to cars no later than this week. The push comes after hundreds marched down Aurora Saturday night demanding action on shootings and sex trafficking in the area. The mayor's office says it needs about another week to study the impact of closures and whether they'd get in the way of police and fire response. A 21-year-old man is facing serious charges tied to what investigators call a Bellevue OnlyFans house. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Eric Thomas.
Nikita Tichiello is facing 4 counts of human trafficking as well as charges of money laundering and organized crime. That following a disturbing pattern dating back to 2024 of allegations of assault, strangulation, and threats with guns for those young women living at the house.
Nikita definitely makes it sound promising, like these girls are going to make a lot of money and have a lot of opportunities, be able to fly out to these really expensive cities, nice places. And it just doesn't end up being the case.
Instead, prosecutors claim Tichiello was in complete control of their OnlyFans accounts.
Tichiello is being held on $5 million bail, set to be arraigned tomorrow morning. A workers' strike could come any day at the Embassy Suites near Seattle's Pioneer Square after 94% of union members voted to authorize a walkout. Hayden Irely is a front desk agent at the hotel located steps away from where World Cup matches will be played at Lumen Field.
This is exactly the time when we would be going on a strike. It's the busiest time of the year, one of the most important events really in the city's history.
Workers' demands include better pay, year-round health care, and pre-pandemic staffing levels. And the Mariners got back on the winning track yesterday, beating the Baltimore Orioles 6-3. Mariners first baseman Josh Naylor had the hot bat, breaking out the rye bread and mustard in the 5th inning.
Here's the pitch. Swung on. That is blasted. Right field. It's towards the big wall. It is gone! Over the big wall. Grand slam. Sail away, Josh Naylor!
Monster. The team will look to take the series against the Orioles today. First pitch at 3:35. Time for a check on traffic. Chris Sullivan is back. I'm thinking we're probably going to have a tough commute this morning.
Yeah, and again, Tuesdays are usually our heaviest day of the week. We've got a lot of weather. It's a super duper rainy out there. But some positive things to think about. We should have the DuPont Gate to JBLM open today because after construction, I'm checking on the timing of that. And we also have the express lanes open in the southbound direction of I-5. So those things are working in our favor. Thanks to Dan, one of our many texting friends, who let me know that we do have a stalled semi on southbound 405 right around the VMAC in North Renton, right there at 44th. Right lane is blocked, and so there is some unusual slowing on southbound 405 today, getting down from, say, Coal Creek Parkway down to the area. Just watch for that. And again, that construction zone is super tiny. I drove through it last night coming home from the airport about 10 o'clock in the pouring down rain. Yeah, I forgot how nasty that work zone can be. Not a lot of wiggle room there. So watch your speeds. Coming the other direction, Renton to Bellevue is only about 17 minutes. Behind that, the Valley Freeway is 40. We've got Olympia to Tacoma at only 35 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle, 35 as well. Looking up north, we do have some westbound slowing across the trestle, trying to get over to the I-5 side of things. 204 is a little slow down the hill. Then you have about 35 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Full disclosure, I made fun of you a little bit yesterday.
Oh, great.
Because you were on a beautiful vacation with your beautiful wife, and you were posting pictures of the open Ship Canal Bridge.
Yeah, I don't do a good job of not unplugging.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
You had a nice time, though.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was a sight to behold, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
All right, we have some pretty steady rain this morning, 62 our high, overnight low 49. We should dry out for the afternoon and even see some sun breaks. So got to get through this morning with the heavy rain, but this afternoon should be better. And then we're going to dry out for several days and heat up. 66 tomorrow, 72 Thursday, mostly sunny skies, 80 on Saturday, both Sunday and Monday. We could be up around 90. Right now, steady rain in Seattle. It's 53 degrees.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO Newsradio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio Northwest News.
For more than 50 years, the voice Seattle trusts. This is Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
Federal and state health officials are warning this week of the discovery of New World screwworms being found amongst livestock in Texas. This is causing Canada to enact restrictions on livestock imports between the two countries.
ABC News correspondent Jim Ryan is following this. Jim, what the heck is a New World screwworm?
Well, it's actually a fly, Manda. It's a blowfly, but it lays little larvae that look like little screwworms. They look like little screws with these hooks on their mouths. They lay those eggs on the open sores or wounds on livestock, on cattle, horses, and that's a fairly common thing in a ranch setting. But not just them, but also potentially cats and dogs that have open wounds. It lays the larvae there, and the larvae can be fatal to those animals. Now, it is treatable. If it's caught, the larvae can be killed, the wound treated, and the animal just does fine after that. So, yeah, we've had 2 cases now in Texas. I don't think it's too surprising because officials have been monitoring the progress of the New World screwworm all the way from South America through every country in Central America, Mexico, and now it's made its way into the United States. 2 counties, 2 different ranches in 1 county down here in Texas.
Jim, I was speaking with somebody in the meat industry over the weekend, and they could not underestimate what a big concern this is, particularly for beef prices. Can you talk about that angle here?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Texas, we here are the biggest beef producer in the whole country, something like a $17 billion industry every year, Charlie. We saw what happened in the 1960s and 70s when a similar outbreak happened. The New World screwworm essentially decimated the Texas cattle industry, drove up prices nationwide. At the moment, of course, we're paying record high prices for beef anyway because the cattle herd nationally is so low, but demand remains fairly high. So record high beef prices could be exacerbated if, in fact, we can't get a handle on the New World screwworm in that 1 county in Texas.
Is there any reason to be concerned about the beef we're eating?
No. It's not an issue of the beef or the meat product. The larvae have nothing to do with that. But the goal is to try to keep it out of the food supply in the first place, and sick cattle as well. So, yeah, these 2 cattle, one was a 3-month-old calf, the other a 1-month-old calf on ranches about 5 miles apart. That whole county now is essentially under quarantine. No cattle in, no cattle out, Manda.
What kind of danger does this present for humans and our pets, Jim?
Well, it's a danger to pets, and that's why pet owners in that same region are being told to keep an eye on their animals, make sure that their dogs or cats don't have open sores, and if they do, to treat them as quickly as possible. Look for any signs of this larval infection. A problem for people, potentially, but it's extremely rare that a person would contract New World screwworm. I mean, if you have a cut on your arm, and people are pretty quick to treat that fast before anything like this could happen.
All right, Jim, thanks for the heads up. ABC News correspondent Jim Ryan. We have learned this morning that another case has been discovered in a dog in New Mexico. Coming up, your political insights from ABC's Stephanie Officer. You are listening to Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
KIRO Newsradio, winner of 7 regional Edward R. Murrow Awards. Breaking news coverage, best newscast, excellence in writing, investigative reporting, sports reporting, hard news. Capped with a prestigious prize for overall excellence. And we thank you, our audience across the Pacific Northwest. You are the reason we strive to be the Northwest's trusted news source. KIRO Newsradio, 97.3 FM.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $3 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to put an end to your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other aggressive IRS actions. Find the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima Tax Relief today for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision.
If you're over 50 and you've been diagnosed with a cataract, or your vision is changing as you're developing an early cataract, you could be a perfect candidate for K2 Vision RLE.
It's inevitable. At some point, typically in your 60s or 70s, you'll have a dysfunctional lens that eventually becomes a cataract. To restore your vision, you will someday need a procedure such as refractive lens exchange.
The question is, are you done with glasses? Do you want to spend your good, active years hassling with changing prescriptions and needing readers?
K2 Vision RLE can give you great vision now, permanently, and you'll never develop that cataract. The procedure is quick and painless, and our state-of-the-art custom lens technologies give highly predictable outcomes.
K2 Vision doctors have performed over 150,000 procedures. They know when it's your right time for RLE. Schedule your free Zoom consult today at k2visionrle.com. K2 Vision RLE. No readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts.
Hey, Brock Ewart here with my buddy Dave Taylor from First Mark Insurance. So glad, so thankful that Molly and I made the call. Had heard so many First Mark Challenge victories, we needed to take that challenge. What does happen from your perspective when that caller, when that email, when that person reaches out to you for a First Mark Challenge victory?
That's a great question. So there's several steps we go through in the process. The first step is we're going to gather information, find out all we can about that client and what their needs are. The next step is we will go out to the market. We have dozens and dozens of carriers that will compete for the business. At the end of that process, we will then bring those findings back to the customer, show them what we found, and who the eventual winner was in that competition.
And it may be who they're with.
It might be, yes. And sometimes that's the best we can do is recommend they stay where they are, but maybe modify a few coverages to put them in a better position.
So go take that challenge today. Go be the next First Mark Challenge victory. It costs you nothing, and they will be there with you every step of the way. FirstMarkInsurance.com. FirstMarkInsurance.com.
These are your political insights from ABC News. The House Oversight Committee will interview Bill Gates and Jeffrey Epstein's longtime executive secretary, Leslie Groff, this week. Groff helped schedule massage appointments for Epstein before his 2006 arrest, allegedly some with underage girls, according to the DOJ. Her lawyer has denied she knowingly assisted in Epstein's crimes. Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates will be interviewed about his relationship with Epstein, which started 3 years after the late convicted sex offender pleaded guilty to soliciting a minor for prostitution in Florida. Hours after President Trump Monday made unsubstantiated claims on the validity of last week's California primaries, House Speaker Mike Johnson also appeared to undermine confidence in the results. But when pressed on what evidence there is, said,
"Some of these efforts are so diabolical and so far upstream it is impossible to prove."
On Monday, the Senate formally received President Trump's nomination, Todd Blanche, to serve as Attorney General. I'm Stephanie Officer, ABC News.
It's now 5:44. Glad to have you with us on this Tuesday morning. It is a very wet Tuesday morning. We're going to see rain throughout the morning hours. Should taper off to sun breaks for the afternoon, 62 our high. And then here comes our dry, warming stretch. Mainly dry tomorrow and then mostly sunny on Thursday, 72, 75 Friday, 80 Saturday. How about 90 on Sunday? Right now in Seattle, rain and 52. And coming up, crime and punishment. Our weekly check-in with Casey McNerthney at the King County Prosecutor's Office. This is KIRO News Radio.
Mark is 76, and his shoulder pain was getting in the way of him playing baseball. You heard that right. Baseball.
Yeah, there's a whole league here of old guys pretending like we're kids.
The pain from severe arthritis just wasn't going away.
It was like a nerve-type pain, and I couldn't sleep at night.
That's when Mark decided to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
Well, if I can avoid surgery anytime, you'd probably be better off.
Mark is back out on the diamond playing baseball.
So I moved into this retirement community, and I talked about my shoulder, and these old people here, they got all excited about it, and two of them now have gone to see Mark Wagner. They don't like driving into Seattle, so I drive them in.
He more than recommends Dr. Wagner. He chauffeurs. So whether it's a hip like mine or a shoulder, elbow, ankle, wrist, or knee, before choosing surgery, see Dr. Mark Wagner first. He's the most experienced in the Northwest with over 20,000 stem cell procedures. Go to drmarkwagnermd.com.
Running a small business means juggling a lot. Your network has to handle it all. That's where a fiber-only provider falls short. You deserve a partner who gives you a greater advantage. Introducing the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A first-ever combination of the largest, fastest fiber-powered network, the most reliable Wi-Fi, gig speeds with equipment and security included, and a 5-year price lock. Plus, it's all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. The Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A new standard for small business with reliability, security, and savings in one. When you add it all up, no one does business like Comcast Business.
Switch today. Get started for $60 a month for 12 months when you add an advanced solution to a qualifying internet package. Limited time offer. New customers only. Requires 300 megabits per second internet, security edge, and additional qualifying service. 1-year agreement, paperless billing, and autopay with bank account required. Taxes and fees extra. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
Hear it live. Stream it online. Watch the show or catch the podcast anytime.
Seattle's Morning News, wherever you are.
It's our crime and punishment segment with Casey McNerthney from the King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office. Casey, this was a big weekend for people living along Aurora in North Seattle. There was a big march, and you went to it?
Yeah, along with Lisa Mannion, the King County prosecutor, Alex Voorhees and Braylon McGinnis, who are the two senior deputy prosecutors who handle these cases every day exclusively. That's what they work on, are human trafficking cases. I'm also Bridget Merriman, who leads that division, the Gender-Based Violence and Prevention Division that oversees these cases.
Okay, so it was you guys. Estimates are several hundred residents who live in the area, and by all accounts, I'm seeing this was one of the largest turnouts in a city to protest something happening in a neighborhood for a very long time. What was the message you received?
Is that people want help there. People want the shootings to be out of their neighborhood, and they want to feel safe, and they want to feel heard. And they're certainly heard by the King County Prosecutor's Office. You know, you and I have lived here our whole lives. I don't think I've ever seen a march like that on Aurora where neighbors have said, hey, we're fed up and we need help. And we hear them, absolutely. They just want to make sure that all city and state leaders hear them too.
And I want to make it clear, was it clear to your office that this situation has exploded to an unacceptable level? Aurora has always had a reputation all our lives, but something different is happening over the past few years. Was that message received by your leadership?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And Alex Voorhees, who I was walking with in the march, you know, as we were going down right by Oak Tree, right by that O'Reilly, you know, she could point out almost every business, every building. She could highlight, oh, I had this case and this is what happened here. You know, she knew it better, you know, than any other prosecutor, I think, in the state, because, you know, working on that every day. But it's absolutely heard. Absolutely heard.
One of the things that did not get anywhere in the state legislature over the last session was a bill that would have gone after the Johns. You know, we have loosened regulations around prostitutes, and one of the ideas is, why don't we go to the people who are paying for their services? Talk us through what your staff is thinking about that now that we have this situation on Aurora.
Well, we were in Olympia really trying to get that done with lawmakers this last session. We'll be back there again in the next session, trying to show, you know, and there are some lawmakers who really get it. Alex Voorhees, who was talking with the neighborhood group last Wednesday at an understandably frustrating meeting for them because they wanted those answers, explained that the reason why this is so important is because it's those buyers that's driving the demand. The demand is what's driving the pimps in the area. If you take care of that pretty rampant demand, it probably won't go away totally, but it'll be a whole lot better than what we see now. Here's a clip from Alex explaining the penalties and why they're inadequate now.
We also have fairly robust laws in Washington state with respect to purchasing sex from minors. It is a Class B felony to purchase sex from a minor. Now, remember what I told you, that the average age of entry is between 12 and 15 years old. Now, say a young woman is 17 and 364 days old. If you are a man that purchases sex from that person, you are subject to a Class B felony. The day that young person turns 18, you are subject to a simple misdemeanor. It is a greater crime in the state of Washington to steal a candy bar from the AM/PM mini mart than it is to purchase sex from someone that's being exploited.
So this is the thorny issue, right? Because I'll get pushback from people all the time. Well, this is two adults doing something consensual. It's the world's oldest profession. You've heard all of these arguments. Why is this so important that this gets addressed?
Leaving the status quo on Aurora isn't reform. Leaving the neighbors to kind of fend for themselves and all of these shootings, that's not reforming the system. If you want legal prostitution, there's a way to do it where people are safe, but this isn't it. Anyone who's driven to Lowe's or Home Depot or the O'Reilly there or the Oak Tree Cinemas, they see the human misery, and just allowing that to happen. Here's a way to say it. Read any one of the human trafficking cases that our office has filed, and any one of those investigations that Seattle Police has done. You'll have a very different take than that idea of, oh, it's fine. It's the oldest profession. No one's being hurt by this. If you read those court documents, you'll see a very different picture.
And you assert that you have been going after the violent felonies and the pimps and the drug dealers here. If that is happening, why do we see such an uptick in violence?
It's really the demand that's driving that. Here's a clip from Alex explaining why, even with the high number of cases that she and our office have filed, why it keeps happening.
Every time we prosecute a pimp or trafficker, they're replaced by another. And the reason that they are replaced by another is because there is money to be made. Why is there money to be made? Because, let's be honest, men are willing to pay to purchase another human being's body for their own sexual gratification. I'm not saying that women aren't ever buyers, but it is disproportionately men. And studies and statistics show that it is disproportionately men who come from privilege. We, in our office, handle cases where we work with undercover detectives posing as minors online and selling sex. And we've collected a lot of data through those cases. 71% of the men arrested in those cases are white men, compared to the disproportionate numbers of people from marginalized communities in our city, state, country that are subjected to commercial sexual exploitation.
And I think it's really important to bring up here when we talk about the felony versus the misdemeanor. If John is charged with a misdemeanor, where does that go, Casey?
At the misdemeanor level, that goes to the city attorney's office.
So not through the prosecutor's office.
Right, yeah, not through the King County prosecutor's office. The cases that we get are when it increases to a shooting or somebody who is trafficking someone else. That's when it comes to the King County prosecutor's office level. One thing I was thinking when we were at this meeting on Wednesday is I think what folks, in addition to the safety issue, are trying to ask is, if you were telling somebody why they should move into our neighborhood, how would you explain it to them? How would you sell it to them? Like, what's the motivation for someone to live a block off Aurora like that on Linden or any of those nearby blocks? When city and state and county leaders can answer that and say, here's exactly why, we would feel safe to move in there. That's when I think you'll know that the problem has been addressed.
Yeah, the neighbors I speak to want you to take this seriously, Casey. This is not something that can be just hot and in the front of your eyes today and then you forget about it. Yeah. So I will be calling you 6 months from now and we'll get an update, because this is something that cannot be tolerated. It cannot stand the way it currently is.
You're right, as you should, and we'll have an answer for you.
All right. Casey McNerthy, King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office. Crime and Punishment here on Seattle's Morning News.
It's 5:55. It is very wet this Tuesday morning. We're going to see rain throughout the morning hours, but sun breaks by afternoon, 62 the high. And then tomorrow we start a nice, long, dry stretch. It's going to heat up to 80 by Saturday. Right now in Seattle, rain and 53. And coming up, KIRO Newsradio's Corwin Hake reports on the call from Seattle City Council members to the mayor to close several streets along Aurora Avenue over safety concerns for those who live there. This is Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
I just can't dig it.
Dig what?
My water line.
Needs replacing?
And I don't want digging in my yard.
And maybe your driveway.
Can't dig it.
Don't dig it.
But how do you?
Apollo Plumbing replaces water lines without digging up your yard.
You're Dan.
From the Ready Right Now plumbers.
Apollo Plumbing.
Our trenchless technology replaces water and sewer lines.
Without digging up my yard?
2 little holes is all it takes.
Sounds better.
Faster, too.
And my yard?
Like we were never there.
Sounds spendy.
Not so much.
Oh?
In the end, about the same as that messy digging you don't want.
How do you figure?
Think about that landscaping you love.
Yeah?
Trenchless means you won't be paying to replace it.
Or my driveway.
We run everything underground.
Trenchless?
Do them all the time.
How about...
Easy payments?
Yeah.
With approved credit. Sure thing.
When can you get started?
We are the Ready Right Now plumbers.
Love that.
Apollo Plumbing, trenchless waterline replacement.
Sewer lines, too.
Can you dig that?
That I can.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
The throw to first, and it's in time. Holy smokes, what a play by J.P. Crawford.
At T-Mobile Park, you've always got the best seat in the house. But if you're looking for a truly golden view, look no further than the seats on the first baseline, a.k.a. Trident Town. Post up behind the Mariners dugout, and you get a great view of Logan Gilbert, Brian Wu, and our entire rotation at work.
Swing and a miss. Fastball upstairs, blew it by him, strike 3.
Not to mention the best view of the best home run celebration in baseball. When the Trident goes up, you know a party's going down.
It is gone! Julio!
Mariners baseball. Trident's up.
Don't miss the Mariners take on the Red Sox in a 3-game series starting June 19th. The fun kicks off with a fireworks night on Friday the 19th, presented by T-Mobile. Then take Dad to a game for Father's Day weekend, featuring a celebration on Sunday the 21st, presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Get tickets at mariners.com.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Carrie injured her back years ago. This is her story.
My herniated disc was so significant that they did the first surgery, the laminectomy and a microdiscectomy. The first surgery failed, and I ended up with another herniated disc, which is pretty typical that herniations just move up your spine. The doctor was recommending another fusion surgery, so I researched alternative therapies. Sound Pain Solutions developed a plan that included bioelectric therapy, laser therapy, decompression, pressure wave therapy, in addition to rehab. Once we started that comprehensive approach, it went phenomenally. They honestly have given me my life back, and I'm happy to help other patients find sound pain solutions sooner.
Schedule a free consultation to learn if you qualify for our non-surgical and drug-free treatments at soundpainsolutions.com.
Hey, how's your money situation? Are you ready for retirement? Well, if you want to know what the pros are doing to make wealth multiply and retire like royalty, then you need to listen to this show, Sound Path Through Retirement, with Ben Koval and Matt Leibarger. Get your money right and tune in every weekend, Saturdays at 10 a.m. and noon on KIRO Newsradio 97.3 FM.
Upgrade your home with Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Be among the first 40 June projects to sign up for 5 or more installed windows and receive a free patio door. Plus, enjoy 12 months no interest, no payments financing. LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. A U.S. Navy drone put to work to save a couple of Army pilots near the Strait of Hormuz. Sources tell ABC News the surface drone was deployed after an Apache attack helicopter went down in the water. The president says both pilots are okay. This, as the president also says, peace negotiations are going well, despite the recent attacks launched by Israel and Iran. President Trump warned Israel's prime minister against doing anything that could hurt the peace effort. Vice President J.D. Vance.
Israel may like that, they may not like that, but fundamentally, we think this is in the best interest of the United States of America, so we're going to keep on pursuing it.
Police in Philadelphia are looking for suspects after a Penn State student was shot and killed near his family home. He was apparently chasing someone who may have grabbed his phone. More cases of the New World screwworm showing up. It devastated the Texas beef industry in the 70s. 5 cases now confirmed in cattle and a goat in Texas and a dog in New Mexico. This is ABC News. The House Oversight Committee is set to interview Jeffrey Epstein's longtime secretary today. With more of the details on that, here's ABC's Peter Haralombous.
Leslie Groff worked as an executive secretary to Epstein in New York for more than 18 years and was once described by her boss as a, quote, extension of my brain. Among her job requirements, scheduling Epstein's frequent meetings with celebrities, scientists, and politicians, booking Epstein's daily massage appointments when he was in New York, and arranging travel for women linked to Epstein. Through her attorneys, Groff has denied any knowledge of or participation in Epstein's crimes. The House Oversight Committee also plans to interview Bill Gates later this week. Peter Haralombous, ABC News.
In Albania, there have been protests going on against Ivanka Trump and her husband Jared Kushner's plans to build a massive coastal development project on an environmentally protected island that Trump says they discovered on a recent vacation. I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
It's 6:02, and here's what's happening. Seattle City Council President is pushing Mayor Katie Wilson to close 5 side streets off Aurora Avenue North this week. Corwin Hake will have more.
Washington state agencies are being warned to brace for budget cuts. The Office of Financial Management says revenue from the new millionaire's tax cannot be counted on. It's tied up in legal challenges.
More than 10,000 people applied to live in Seattle's first social housing building. Name drawings began yesterday for 15 open apartments at the Alera in Belltown.
Just about 6:03, time for a check on traffic. It's likely going to be a challenging commute, and Chris Sullivan is back. Welcome.
Yeah, welcome. It's good to be back after the nice little trip to ND. We're looking at some pretty significant rain around the sound, causing some problems. So that's going to be an issue today. But other than that, we're okay. We're in pretty good shape. The one issue we do have is a stalled semi blocking the southbound right lane of 405, right near 44th there at Renton, right there by the VMAC. You kind of come to a sudden all stop pulling away from Coal Creek Parkway. Give yourself an extra 5 minutes to make it from Bellevue to Renton. That drive is about 20 minutes. A similar 20-minute drive from Renton to Bellevue going the other direction, but the braking there is right by 167 to the 169 to Maple Valley Highway interchange. Behind that, the Valley Freeway is really heavy out of Auburn. We might have a crash by Emerald Downs that just popped up. You're going to need 40 minutes from end to end. Olympia to Tacoma is not bad, 35 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle, about 40. And out of the north end, boy, it's nice to see the express lanes open again in the southbound direction of I-5. Got about a 40-minute trip from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 6:04. It has taken weeks of passionate lobbying from neighbors of a North Seattle crime zone, but now city council members are calling for direct action.
We get the update this morning live from KIRO News Radio's Corwin Hake.
We need to close the streets. That is what City Council President Joy Hollingsworth said at a council huddle Monday afternoon. She's advocating a measure long requested by Jake Wallach and other neighbors for a section of Aurora Avenue North where gunfire related to sex trafficking has become alarmingly frequent.
SPD's own data that was shared with me recently confirmed that over 60% of the shootings on my block are directly related to prostitution.
Now the Seattle Times reports Hollingsworth has asked Mayor Katie Wilson to close 5 side streets off Aurora because Hollingsworth says city-installed chicanes designed only to calm traffic are not solving the problem. A newly introduced council bill would allow street closures if the police chief says they're necessary to prevent criminal activity. Reporting live, Corwin Hake, KIRO News Radio.
An Aberdeen father is now officially charged with the death of his 4-year-old son.
And KIRO 7 TV's Madeline Ottley was in court.
On Monday, a judge bumped bail from $150,000 to $750,000, in part because of Jacob Bevan's 3 active warrants at the time of his arrest.
Court's review of the probable cause statement suggests that there's likely tampering of evidence as possible.
Crystal Singletary clapped in the courtroom as that development came down. Her daughter-in-law was Aiden's biological mother.
I wanted him to hear that.
She says Aiden's mom is doing her best to hold it together in front of her young kids, even in the face of disturbing details about the way Aiden's body was found with multiple broken bones and burn marks.
A 21-year-old man is facing serious charges tied to what investigators call a Bellevue OnlyFans house.
And KIRO 7 TV's Eric Thomas has details.
Nikita Tikielo is facing 4 counts of human trafficking as well as charges of money laundering and organized crime. That following a disturbing pattern dating back to 2024 of allegations of assault, strangulation, and threats with guns for those young women living at the house.
Nikita definitely makes it sound promising, like these girls are going to make a lot of money and have a lot of opportunities, be able to fly out to these really expensive cities, nice places, and it just doesn't end up being the case.
Instead, prosecutors claim Tukialo was in complete control of their OnlyFans accounts.
He's now being held on $5 million bail, set to be arraigned tomorrow morning.
Keeping you informed since 1974. This is the city's longest-running radio news show.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO Newsradio.
Well, Sully's back.
Oh, my goodness.
We've missed you.
We're gone forever.
The text line, people are mourning, gnashing teeth, wailing.
Well, they better get ready. Today's my only day of like the next 2 weeks. I've got some personal things we're taken care of for the next couple of weeks, so back for today. But yeah, it's good to be back. I miss it. I do a terrible job. I'm on our Teams group chats.
Oh, yeah.
I'm on the text line.
I was making fun of you. Get back to vacation, Sully.
Yeah, it was good. Good time to recharge the batteries back in South Bend.
Well, we'll put a good word in for you with the warden.
Yeah. You've been asking about what that piece of jewelry is around my ankle, haven't you?
Take care of those personal issues, would you?
We tease. Well, it's good to see you today. We have Ian Douglas filling in for Nick this morning. We have producer David Burbank in the studio, and Katrina Gashard is out at the news desk.
It's raining cats and dogs in case you have not gone outside yet.
I seriously, driving in this morning 3 different times, started sliding on the freeway. I mean, it was a white knuckle drive for sure. So be careful if you're about to hit the roads. It is no joke this morning.
This hour of Seattle's Morning News is sponsored by American Crawl Space and Pest Control.
Well, lucky us, we do have a choke point this morning, right, Sully?
Yeah, we do. It's interesting the timing of this because the DOT put out a press release right about this issue yesterday. I'm like, hey, I'm doing that. It's speed zone work cameras. They're expanding. The rules are changing. But there's an assumption that I think a lot of drivers make about how the system works, and it's wrong. And so I'm going to break that down for you. What does it really mean when workers must be present on the sign? What does that mean?
Okay.
We'll break that up next.
All right.
Okay, and we'll also speak with Peter Haralambous from ABC News about the latest in the investigation surrounding the Epstein files.
It's 6:08. Washington state agencies are being warned, brace for a tough budget cycle and to find places to make cuts. The Office of Financial Management says there will be a significant shortfall next biennium. Agencies are also being told not to count on money from the new income tax on millionaires being available. The new law is facing legal challenges, and the revenue wouldn't be collected until 2029.
Seattle and King County leaders say the current plan to fix the Regional Homelessness Authority doesn't go far enough. Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson and County Executive Gurmai Zahalai announced they're putting an independent financial team inside the agency starting this month. An outside review found the agency's initial corrective action plan is incomplete. Comes after an audit revealed $13 million in public funds unaccounted for and weak internal controls. Both Seattle and King County have set an August 1st deadline to decide the agency's future.
More than 10,000 people hope to land an apartment in Seattle's first social housing building. The Seattle Times reports the Seattle social housing developer got 10,243 applications during a 2-week lottery that closed Friday. The agency is buying the Alera at the Market, a 150-unit high-end apartment building in Belltown. It's turning that building into a mix of affordable and market-rate homes. Names are being drawn at random. People making 30% of the area median income or less get first shot at the 15 open apartments. After that, the next 45 apartments go to people making up to 50% of area median income.
With Seattle's World Cup matches less than a week away, commuters are making their game plans. Katie Bunton lives in Paulsbo, makes her way to the University of Washington by ferry, foot, and light rail. She says she's preparing for an evening commute of 3 hours or more.
Those of us who do the ferry commute on the regular are already used to summers being pretty gnarly. It's just going to be extra gnarly with FIFA.
Extra gnarly. Bunton hopes the events prompt our region to double down on light rail investments.
Meanwhile, businesses are busy trying to put their best foot forward, like Chuck Our Cherries at Pike Place Market, where the manager, Bevan Duncan, is expecting record crowds.
So, and then we've got our sticker, which has, the needle, our soccer ball, and our little checker bird. Seattle 2026. So, yeah, we're in the spirit. We're ready to go.
She says they're stocking up on products along with snacks and Gatorade for the long days at the booth.
Well, we had Cal, and now another key Mariner lands on the injured list.
A tremendous play by J.P. Crawford. He robs Pasquantino of a base hit. A dazzling effort.
Yeah, J.P. Crawford was hit by a pitch on his right hand Friday. Hasn't played since. It's Crawford's second stint on the IL this season. He started the year dealing with a shoulder injury. Ryan Bliss has been called up from AAA to fill Crawford's spot.
Well, even without JP, Mariners got back on the winning track yesterday, beating the Orioles 6-3. Mariners first baseman Josh Naylor had the hot bat, breaking out the rye bread and mustard in the fifth.
Here's the pitch. Swung on. That is blasted. Right field. It's towards the big wall. It is gone! Over the big wall. Grand slam. Sail away, Josh Naylor.
The team will look to take the series against the Orioles today. First pitch, 3:35. You can catch all the action on our sister station, 710 Seattle Sports.
That was a fun game yesterday, and it was nice and early, so I could watch the whole thing.
A monster home run.
Yeah, it sure was. 6:12 now. Time to get a check on weather. We find Nick Allard at the KIRO 7 TV studios. And Nick, I noticed that you have a 9 in the forecast.
Yeah, I carried the 17 and added a 4, and then it came out to 9-0 on Monday. I have us at 88 right now on Sunday and 90 on Monday, and the idea is our wind is going to turn offshore, which means on Sunday, we will cut off the moderating effect of the ocean. The air is forced to warm by compression, and really, it just makes it so our temperatures just skyrocket. So they're going to jump up like crazy on Sunday and Monday, and then they'll be a little cooler before and a little cooler after. Today, it's only going to be at like 62, and the steady rain we're seeing now is already tapering off, except it's starting to pick back up again in a convergence zone around at least North King County. It's going to fluctuate between King and Snohomish County, and that convergence zone today in Snohomish County is the main spot where if you were to see it, you could find a thunderstorm, but it's not the best chance. The rest of the area, just spotty showers, breezy, and cool temps in the low 60s. Tomorrow, still a few showers around, but slowly drying out and decreasing. It's kind of our transition day with sunshine and 70s and 80s, and in fact, 70s through the week, 80 on Saturday, 88 Sunday, 90 on Monday. And the record for Sunday is 86. The record for Monday, 88. And next hour, if you remind me, I'll tell you the average we typically hit 90 for the first time. We're going to be ahead of it.
Okay. And this is the sort of thing you're not going to get much relief at the coast?
Definitely not on Sunday into Monday. Monday, it might start to change a little bit as cooler onshore winds coming in, but for sure Sunday, it's going to be probably just as hot there or close to it as it is inland. So yeah, good point.
Okay, Nick. Right now in Seattle, it's 53.
And it's 6:13. Time for a check on traffic. We do that every 10 minutes, and Chris Sullivan is back watching the roads.
And the most unusual slowing we have today is on southbound 405, trying to get from Bellevue down into Renton, right by the VMAC, the Seahawks practice facility. We've got a stalled semi that is blocking the right lane, and we've got about a 5 or 6 minute delay through the area. You're going to need over 20 minutes to go from Bellevue down into Renton. Going the other direction, kind of a typical day through the S-curve. So far, about 22 minutes to get you up into Bellevue. Coming up the Valley Freeway, it looks like we're still dealing with the remnants of a crash right near 15th Northwest. It appears to have cleared because we're seeing a little bit of improvement in the area, but there is braking from 180th on in, so give yourself about 45 minutes to make that trip up the valley. There might also be a crash right at the top of the South Hill, making it difficult getting down there. Olympia to Tacoma is about 40 minutes, some slight hesitation up through Nisqually towards DuPont, and then a pretty clean drive the rest of the way. Federal Way to Seattle is about 42, 43 minutes. On the West Seattle Bridge, want to thank Sue for letting me know we have a stalled Metro bus, so blocking the right lane, right shoulder as you get towards 99 on the eastbound direction of the West Seattle Bridge, so watch for that. Lake bridges are fine coming down out of the north end. We're under 45 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Bellevue. There are brake lights past 128 today to deal with. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Let's go!
Now, Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
Presented by Carter Subaru.
Well, the state debuted work zone cameras more than a year ago, and it sounds like a lot of drivers still don't quite understand how they work.
Well, you better hurry. You only have a few weeks to figure it out because the fines are going up, and Sully spells it out for us.
On its face, the state work zone speed camera program seems pretty straightforward. WashDOT has small mobile cameras attached to SUVs by a trailer hitch, and they go from work zone to work zone and try to keep the speeds down. They've been through 800 work zones in the last year to try to, curb the speeding. So WashDOT puts up a simple sign that warns drivers that there is a camera coming up and what the speed limit is. For the cameras to be active under state law, workers need to be in that work zone. Seems pretty simple.
Yeah.
Right? No, pretty straightforward. Well, several drivers who have been tagged by these mobile cameras recently have reached out to KIRO News Radio to ask why they received a citation. A friend of John Curley's reached out a couple months ago. A friend of G's reached out a couple weeks ago. Both drivers were hit by the cameras in the work zone on Highway 18 between Tiger Mountain and I-90, right there on that big construction zone we've been talking about. Both drivers said basically the same thing. Paraphrasing here, I didn't see any workers. Why'd I get a citation? And that led me to reach out to WashDOT and the State Patrol to get some really granular explanations about what workers must be present means, and if they have to be anywhere near that mobile speed camera itself. And there's an assumption that I think a lot of drivers have when it comes to this, and it's wrong. So here's what I found out. The work zone, a work zone, any work zone where they can put up these cameras can be 100 yards long. It could be 100 miles long. We're talking with, cones the whole way, whatever that work zone can be. As long as there is one worker present somewhere in that zone, you can get a citation. Now, the SR-18 work zone is about 2 miles long. A lot of stuff going on all over the road, under, side, on the road, all over the place. There is no proximity requirement in the RCW or the WAC, that's the code of Washington, that workers don't have to be anywhere near that camera. They just need to be somewhere inside that work zone.
So, like, where it's going way down on Highway 18, not even near the road, but they're putting all the infrastructure in place
underneath that overpass. Yeah, and you don't have to see them as long as one person is there. They could be in the porta potty. You can still get a ticket. They don't have to be visible. And I think drivers have an assumption that it's got to be around the camera. No. The camera can be anywhere. Like, for instance, up here on the Ship Canal Bridge, where it's been, they're the only safe place to put that camera was at the far north end right there by 45th because there was too much going on. They'd put a screen up there. So that was the place they could have put the camera. But by that time, you're almost all the way through the work zone.
You're accelerating to get back up to speed.
And you're like, well, yeah, but the workers are all, but that's the assumption. Has nothing to do with proximity. As WashDOT told me, quote, that's why we tell people you should always assume a work zone is active when you enter it. Now, if you see the sign that the camera enforcement is underway, you risk that citation if you're speeding, whether you see workers or not. Now, the State Patrol does review every citation, and having workers present is part of what they call the evidence package. So if they are there, the State Patrol will find them and they will issue a ticket one way or the other. Why is this important? Well, first of all, you shouldn't be speeding in work zones. I'm not here to tell you I'm not telling you how to get away or out of a ticket here. I'm just trying to make you understand how the system works and maybe an assumption you might be holding. But the other thing is everybody deserves to get home at the end of their shift, whether they're working on the road or you're driving. And secondly, the rules are changing July 1st. The first citation will no longer be free.
Right now, it's a zero fine on the first one. The second one you get $248. Starting July 1st, the first one's going to move from 0 to $125.
That's the State Patrol's Chris Loftus, who says the second citation will remain at $248. I've heard from a lot of you about this program, and you think it's just the way a state is looking for some fast and cheap money. Well, the State Patrol has caught more than 77,000 drivers speeding in these work zones in the first year.
We're not in the punish you business. We're not in the fine you business. We're in the slow you down business and save your life business. We're in the save the life of the people working on the side of the roads business.
WashDOT will start deploying these mobile cameras east of the Cascades on July 1st, starting in the Spokane area right there just before you get into downtown near the airport. It plans to have 10 of these cameras operating by July across the state, hopes to have 15 of them around the state by 2027.
You said 77,000 of these in 1 year.
Correct. And about I think the number was about 10% of them were multiples.
Okay.
So those people did get a penalty.
And how much will the ticket be?
$125 for the first offense now, starting July 1st. Those people, about 7,000 of them who were in there more than once, that was $248.
Okay.
It's kind of like a school zone. It says when children are present, but
Correct.
I always assume that
or when it's
there's a kid
flashing
somewhere.
or when it isn't. Yeah, so I think what we have is we have an assumption being made by drivers because, they don't, because what workers present, I think to a lot of us means, oh, I see a worker
Right.
and there's a camera. Yeah. Well, that isn't exactly the case. They just have to be in that work zone somewhere, and you may not even see them. So just slow down. And those cameras, funny, I just saw they put a new speed zone camera sign is in effect going southbound just above the station here because there's going to be some work being done heading into downtown near Mercer. So you might see a camera there soon, too. These things can pop up anywhere.
Yeah, you ever hear people, I think it's just a rumor where they say, well, you can just tell the judge you weren't in the car or something like this for an automated.
Nope. People have tried that, and you'll take your luck.
Okay.
But again, it's tied to the car, but they don't shoot the driver for any. It's the car.
Wait, they're starting to shoot drivers
with the camera.
No.
With the camera.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they don't take anything else. They just identifying information. They have the camera and the license plate. So yeah, you could try it. I'm not a judge. Yeah. It seems they could do whatever they want to, but you could try it. As I've told people, I might go prove to me where the people were. Maybe again, I'm not a lawyer or telling you how to get out of this, but again, in a 2-mile work zone where there's, they may be underneath you. I get why people are confused as to why they may have gotten nabbed but that's an assumption. That's not how it works.
Okay.
Good to know.
We can find out more at mynorthwest.com.
Oh, you better believe it.
Okay. 623, we've talked about slowing down. How's the traffic looking right now? Are there any big hassles, trouble spots?
Well, yeah, one, and it's counter commute. It's southbound 405 right now going from Bellevue down into Renton. This stalled semi we have right near 44th has really caused trouble now. From about Coal Creek Parkway down past the VMAC, you're going to be bumper to bumper. It's 25 minutes from Bellevue to Renton. That's about a 10-minute delay over what you might expect. Coming the other direction, we've got about a 25-minute trip from Renton to Bellevue, so relatively standard there. 45 minutes, maybe a little bit more from Puyallup to Renton with the brake lights the heaviest right there at Highway 18 and then again at the far north end. Crash still blocking a lane, not sure which one, right there around the South Hill on-ramp going eastbound on 512, getting down the hill. I'll have more for you on that one in 10. Olympia to Tacoma's running 40 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle about 45. Still working with this stalled bus that is blocking the shoulder now near 99 on the eastbound direction of the West Seattle Bridge. And coming down from the north end, surprise, surprise, with the express lanes open in the southbound direction of I-5, it doesn't look terrible. We're under 45 minutes from Everett to Seattle or Everett to Bellevue. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Showers will eventually die out today, headed for a high in the low 60s, and then we get dry and progressively warmer. 66 our high tomorrow. By Friday, 75, 80 Saturday, 88 Sunday, and Nick Allard is calling it 90 on Monday. Right now in Seattle, it's 53.
And coming up, more of the day's top stories, including KIRO Newsradio's Corwin Hake on the preparations being made ahead of the World Cup in Seattle. We'll also get to your opening bell report here on Seattle's Morning News.
We're here for Closets by Design. If you're having one of those mornings where you're already behind, you've been trying to figure out where is all this stuff in the pantry, it's overflowing your garage, you're stepping over piles, you're not doing anything wrong. It's just that most homes weren't set up to work the way we actually live. Closets by Design isn't just closets. It's a garage where you can finally park your car, a pantry you can actually use. They also do laundry rooms, home offices, wall beds, entertainment centers, mud rooms. And here's the key. It's all custom built, designed for your home and your routine. There's nothing off a shelf. Nothing's pre-made. It's done in Kent, by the way. When things are designed right, your day just goes smoother. Less clutter, less frustration. Everything, finally, has a place. Right now, for a limited time, you can get 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. So go to closestbydesign.com or call them 1-800-BY-DESIGN to get your project started today.
KIRO Newsradio, winner of 7 regional Edward R. Murrow Awards. Breaking news coverage, best newscast, excellence in writing, investigative reporting, sports reporting, hard news. Capped with a prestigious prize for overall excellence. And we thank you, our audience across the Pacific Northwest. You are the reason we strive to be the Northwest's trusted news source. KIRO Newsradio, 97.3 FM.
Whatever the heat index, stay cool this summer. Your local Bryant dealer can make sure your system is up to the task. Whether it's maintaining your current system or installing an energy-efficient Bryant Evolution cooling system with Perfect Humidity Plus technology, your dealer will give you what you need to help your family beat the heat. Learn more and schedule an appointment with a factory-authorized dealer today at BryantNorthwest.com. That's BryantNorthwest.com. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. See our current specials with exciting savings at OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Pump up the volume. Business moves fast. Orders roll in, deadlines close in. When you ship with USPS Ground Advantage, you can keep up with confidence. Every package stays in our secure network from dock to door. And with nationwide reach, dependable tracking, and upfront affordable pricing, you get built-in peace of mind. You run the business. We run the routes. Visit USPS.com/Ground Advantage to learn more.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was gonna unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
At the Boy Scouts of America, our oath remains. A scout pledges to be kind, helpful, and brave. We're committed to providing a safe and welcoming environment where scouts can establish the foundations of character that will last a lifetime. Our approach ensures the Boy Scouts of America is building the youth of today into the leaders we'll turn to tomorrow. The Boy Scouts of America. Building character is in our nature. Visit scouting.org to learn more about scouting.
If you're hurt in a car accident, call Harold Car Law Offices right away. They'll save you time and get you more money from insurance while you're able to focus on recovering. Visit carlaw.com. 2 R's in car. Car accident? Call CAR.
Are you a homeowner, 62 or older, and realize that your Social Security and other income may not carry you through your retirement years? Have you ever thought about a reverse mortgage? Hey, Brock Hewitt here from my friends at Tila Mortgage, a local company serving Washington residents for 30 years. And if you want to know how a reverse mortgage works or have questions like, are reverse mortgages safe? Will I still own my home? Or do I really have the option of not making monthly mortgage payments? Call Tila for a no-pressure conversation. They'll answer your questions with personalized recommendations and loan options that can safely help you improve your monthly cash flow, increase your available income, pay off debt, or make home improvements. Call Tila today. Tila, spelled T-I-L-A, is a name you can trust for truthful, honest, and ethical advice for all your mortgage needs. Call 206-766-8888. That's 206-766-8888 or
Insurance and property taxes are borrower's responsibility. Tila Mortgage LLC is a mortgage broker. NMLS 2472046.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it today at carsforkids.org. Your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call 1-877-CARS4KIDS to donate your car today. That's cars with a K.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. The 21-year-old suspect connected to the so-called OnlyFans house in Bellevue, charged with human trafficking and money laundering now.
KIRO 7 TV's Eric Thomas spoke with a woman who says she was recruited multiple times while she was still a minor.
For them, to try to recruit me multiple times, it wasn't just once, it's just so baffling to me. And the fact that it's not just me and it's so many of these other girls.
Nikita Tichiello is facing 4 counts of human trafficking as well as charges of money laundering and organized crime. That following a disturbing pattern dating back to 2024 of allegations of assault, strangulation, and threats with guns for those young women living at the house.
Tichiello is being held on $5 million bail. He is set to be arraigned tomorrow morning.
A familiar name is playing a key role in public safety coordination when World Cup matches arrive in Seattle.
KIRO News Radio's Corwin Hake explains live.
If a public safety issue emerges during the Cup, the dozens of agencies involved will turn first to this man.
Security for the Seattle Local Organizing Committee.
That's John Diaz. He was Seattle Police Chief from 2010 to 2013, 30 years after he joined SPD as a patrol officer and then swiftly rose through the ranks. Casey Broom with State Emergency Management says that experience is key to the former chief's current job.
John knows everything about this city, has had a successful spot as chief, and then also just knowing all of the coordinating agencies, right? With King County, he's worked with a number of these folks for decades, right? And so really understanding who the points are to be able to pull this effort together was instrumental, and John had that knowledge.
Diaz was lured out of retirement for this role, and it took very little convincing.
How could you not be involved in the largest sporting event in history? If somebody says, would you do this, how could you say no to that? So I'm very excited about it.
And he says he's ready for trouble, but does not expect it. He does expect international crowds to fully enjoy the city and then make plans to come back, guys.
All right, Corwin Hake reporting live. It's 6:33. We head over to the traffic desk with Sully.
Yeah, we got a couple of things brewing today. The biggest issue really is on 405 southbound. It's unusual this time of day to see braking southbound going down into the Renton area. But we have about a 10-minute delay from Bellevue down to Renton. It's about 25 minutes. Stalled semi blocking the right lane right there through that very tight work zone at the 44th there by the VMAC. Once you're through that, it's a pretty clean drive the rest of the way. Going the opposite direction, it's a pretty typical Tuesday for Renton to Bellevue. We've got about 25 to 28 minutes to make the drive up into Bellevue. Behind that, the Valley Freeway's running close to 50 minutes at this point. It's really heavy in Auburn and at the north end part of that drive. Now to the 512 corridor right in and around the Puyallup area. Problems in both directions. Going down the hill by South Hill, the left lane is blocked on eastbound 512, so we're backing up there, add a couple of extra minutes there. And then we've been working with a car crash right at the transition from southbound 167 to westbound 512 there, right at the Puyallup River Bridge. Car in the median, so we're seeing backups there, but they may have reopened the lanes. They'll probably have to close them again to get that car out of there. The Olympia to Tacoma Drive right around 40 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle, 45. about 50 from Everett to Bellevue, and 45 Everett to Seattle. Up on the trestle, some braking, but not bad, and a little bit through Marysville, so relatively typical everywhere else. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. Search Seattle Sports on YouTube. Click subscribe. Get fresh video content daily.
Well, the rain is tapering off a little bit. 62 the high for today, and then we're going to dry out for several days.
All right, time now for the opening bell report.
From ABC News, Wall Street now. Rising shares in chip-related companies helped the NASDAQ Composite and S&P 500 to regain some of Friday's massive losses. The Standard & Poor's picking up 0.3% yesterday. The NASDAQ Composite 0.8%. No such luck for the Dow, which lost another 81 points Monday. Speaking of tech, OpenAI has filed preliminary paperwork toward going public. That follows initial public offering announcements from rival AI giant Anthropic and SpaceX. The Elon Musk company joins the NASDAQ 100 on Friday. Shipments of tech-related products and automobiles helped to drive a 19% increase in exports from China in the past year. Exports specifically to the U.S. surged 35% year over year. And PepsiCo is going driverless for some of its delivery trucks. The Wall Street Journal says the snack and drink company is already using dozens of autonomous vehicles to make deliveries in Arizona before it tries a broader rollout. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
July 6th, that's the day Boeing CEO Kelly Ortberg says the company will start bringing 737 MAX planes on its new assembly line in Everett. Boeing has been slowly ramping up production of the MAX since the FAA put a cap on it after the door plug incident in January of 2024. Ortberg spoke with CNBC.
We've made sure that we're not moving until the production system is stable. We're not pushing work down the production line like we were before.
Right now, Boeing is building 47 MAX jets per month. The goal is 52 per month sometime next year and eventually 63 per month.
Costco pushing back against a proposed class action lawsuit targeting its $5 rotisserie chicken. 2 California customers claim the chicken contains additives despite being advertised as having no preservatives. Seattle Times reports Costco says those claims are fatally flawed, arguing federal regulators don't classify the additives as preservatives. The company now asking a judge to dismiss the case, saying the lawsuit doesn't show any real harm to consumers.
A Tacoma institution has served its last customer. After nearly 90 years in the Proctor District, Knapp's Restaurant and Lounge is closed. The News Tribune reports a sign went up on the front door yesterday thanking customers for the memories. Knapp's opened as a deli in 1938. The bar was added in 1969.
Washington's lottery is giving away for the first time a brand new car from a scratch ticket. New $10 keys and cash game launches June 15th. 6 2026 Ford Bronco Sports up for grabs. Cash prizes $25 also in play. Tickets go on sale at lottery retailers statewide next Sunday.
The newest tech tool meant to improve lives, maybe also covering up a growing societal problem.
The Barbara Bush Foundation for Family Literacy says more than half of Americans between 16 and 74 read below a 6th grade level. Thomas Kane of Harvard Center for Education Policy Research tells ABC News that he remains hopeful.
School districts have found ways to reverse this decline by focusing on early reading.
The concern among researchers is that dependence on AI to correct spelling and grammar errors may mask reading comprehension problems in children and adults. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
PepsiCo sending Doritos to the store without a human behind the wheel. Here's News Nation's Nick Smith.
Pepsi is the first major U.S. consumer goods company to launch a full-scale operation for autonomous delivery vehicles. Snack lovers in Texas, Arizona, and Arkansas, the next time you pick up soda and chips at a convenience store or supermarket, it may have been delivered by a driverless truck. PepsiCo's full-scale driverless delivery system expands the deal with autonomous trucking company Gotik. The two companies started working together back in 2022 and have more than 40 trucks on the roads.
Yahoo Finance reports the autonomous vehicle market is expected to more than triple by 2034.
Checking Wall Street, stocks are on the rise this morning. The Dow up about 339 points at 51,125. S&P 500 up 52. The NASDAQ is up about 217 points.
Word here for KIRO 7 TV. It starts on your street, in your home, with a problem you're struggling to solve. That's where KIRO 7 Investigates comes in. They show up. They ask hard questions. They get you answers. When your story is seen, change isn't just possible, it's already happening. Watch KIRO 7 News weeknights 5 to 6:30 p.m. and at KIRO7.com/investigates.
It's 6:40. Sully, what's coming up in traffic?
We're going to add at least 10 minutes to your drive on southbound 405 getting down to Renton. I'll tell you why next.
KIRO Newsradio, winner of 7 regional Edward R. Murrow Awards. Breaking news coverage, best newscast, excellence in writing, investigative reporting, sports reporting, hard news. Capped with a prestigious prize for overall excellence. And we thank you, our audience across the Pacific Northwest. You are the reason we strive to be the Northwest's trusted news source. KIRO Newsradio, 97.3 FM.
The opening bell is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
Guys, tired all the time? Gaining weight? Low drive? These aren't just signs of aging. They could be low testosterone or other underlying issues. This June, for Men's Health Month, Revive Men's Health in Seattle is offering a free comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value. It checks your testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. No guessing, just answers. Over 100,000 men have trusted Revive to get real results. More energy, better sleep, improved mood, and confidence that shows. If something feels off, don't wait. Take control and protect your long-term health by knowing your numbers. This offer ends June 30th. Schedule your free comprehensive wellness panel today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com. Feel better, live stronger. Start now.
If your home is 20 years old or more, it might be time to have your roof inspected. Your roof is your home's first line of defense, and at Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation, we'll help it last as long as possible. Our trained and licensed crew will evaluate your roof, repairing when we can and offering replacement options only when necessary. Plus, every new install comes protected with a full year of free maintenance on us. Visit GuardianRoofing.com today.
Summer's a busy time for businesses. WaFd bank accounts are designed to work with business owners like you, stay on top of every dollar, helping manage cash flow, pay vendors, and keep operations running smoothly. Get access to digital tools to simplify banking, like bill pay, signer and non-signer debit cards, and the option to upgrade your account as your business grows. Plus, our business bankers get to know you, so when you need help, we're there. WaFd Bank, built for business. Visit wafdbank.com, member FDIC.
Step inside and let the excitement take you places. This is Muckleshoot Casino Resort, the ultimate spot for action that reaches incredible heights, luxury that knows no bounds, and live entertainment that always thrills. It's all at one incredible destination. So when you look for the best, look nowhere else. Muckleshoot Casino Resort, the biggest and best in the Northwest. Muckleshoot.
It's 6:43. We check traffic on the threes with Chris Sullivan.
Yeah, we're getting closer to a half an hour to make the drive from Bellevue down into Renton. About a 15-minute delay because of this stalled semi that is still blocking the right lane right by the VMAC at 44th. You're going to hit the brakes right around the Coal Creek Parkway area, and it's going to be pretty thick through the area. Plus, we have a pretty significant rainstorm right over the top of it. Rain seems to be the biggest issue for everybody else, though. Looking at Renton to Bellevue, going the other direction, getting closer to a half an hour as well to make that drive. We're starting to see some slowing in South Bellevue as well. Valley Freeway, 50 minutes from end to end. We're still struggling on eastbound 512, trying to make that drive, getting down to the South Hill, over to the South Hill, and then down towards Puyallup. Not only do we have bad weather there, but we do have the left lane blocked right near the top of the hill for a crash, and so that's causing an extra 10 or 12 minutes on that drive. Not really pleasant trying to go from I-5 down to Puyallup on that particular corridor. Olympia to Tacoma's not bad, about 40 minutes. Federal Way to Seattle's about 50 now. Lake bridges are still fine. Coming down from the north end, some braking in Marysville, a little bit of getting to the trestle, nothing unusual about that. Away from Linwood, there is some braking past 196. For 405, it's from Canyon Park on down. 50 minutes from Everett to Bellevue, about 45 from Everett to Seattle. manageable. But again, weather is going to be an issue for the rest of the commute. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Yeah, rain this morning. Should taper off to showers, and then by afternoon we'll even see some sun breaks, but the rain is pretty steady in spots this morning. 62 our high. And then we're going to dry out, mainly dry tomorrow, 66. Sunshine Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. By Monday, 90 is the prediction.
No thanks.
Sorry. Haven't asked yet what's going to happen on Tuesday, but 2 days is all I can take because it'll be warm on Sunday too, 88. Right now in Seattle, we have rain and 53.
Coming up, ABC News investigative reporter Peter Haralambous is standing by with an update on the Epstein Files investigation. This is Seattle's Morning News.
Did you really think Pure Talk was just going to sit back and watch America turn 250 years old without doing something awesome to celebrate? Of course not. That's why they're raising $250,000 for America's Warrior Partnership by the end of July. America's Warrior Partnership is on the front line of preventing veteran suicide. They've had extraordinary success, and here's how you can help. When you switch your cell phone service to Pure Talk this month, you'll be invited to round up to support America's Warrior Partnership. No pressure, but if you do, Pure Talk will match your donation dollar for dollar. And to further celebrate 250 years of our extraordinary democratic republic, Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for just $34.99 a month. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. That's pound 250, say Mike Rowe. And happy birthday to us.
Well, I'm sure by now you've heard interviews with a whole lot of people who took the First Mark Challenge and saved so much money on their insurance and got better coverage too. We call them First Mark victories. Well, I took the First Mark Challenge too, and I'm thrilled to say that First Mark is saving us thousands. Now that's what I call a victory. You know, I was with the same agent for so long, I simply assumed they were working hard to get me the best coverage and save me money. But it wasn't the case, and you should find out too by taking the First Mark Insurance Challenge. First Mark works for you, not the insurance carriers. First Mark will fully analyze your current coverage, making sure you're not overpaying for the wrong coverage, which could leave you at risk for financial loss. Then they carefully search the market, dozens of major carriers to find you the best fit, and that's it. First Mark Insurance has helped thousands of families successfully manage the complicated world of insurance and save them thousands, me included. Be the next First Mark Challenge victory. Take the First Mark Challenge right now. It's totally free. Go to firstmarkinsurance.com. First Mark Insurance. They work for you.
G. Scott here. Safeway wants you to know SunBucks gives qualifying families $120 per child for summer groceries. Some families are signed up automatically. Others need to apply. Find out if you should apply at freesummermeals.org.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for fast, friendly service with guaranteed repairs. With 16 family-owned locations and a Carfax preferred badge, Bucky's makes it easy with same-day service and available financing. Visit Bucky's.com.
Spring is a perfect time to make improvements that protect and add value to your home. Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. For decades, homeowners across the Pacific Northwest have trusted our team for roofing, siding, windows, and custom decking. This spring, save up to $3,000, or qualified homeowners can take advantage of zero down, zero payments, and zero interest up to 24 months. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule your free estimate.
Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
6:48 now. Big week for lawmakers on the House Oversight Committee as two key interviews are scheduled as part of the investigation into convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
Let's bring in ABC News investigative reporter Peter Haralambous. Peter, who do we expect to hear from?
Yeah, today we're expecting to hear from Leslie Groff. This is Epstein's former executive secretary who worked for him for about 2 decades, someone who is so ubiquitous in his life that her name appears 160,000 times in the Epstein files. Epstein once even described her as a, quote, extension of my brain. Not only was she deeply involved, but according to prosecutors, they investigated her. She was listed as a potential co-conspirator in both 2007 and 2019 when prosecutors were probing Epstein's conduct. So certainly a lot of questions about her role in Epstein's day-to-day life, as well as any potential role in these alleged criminal activities, which she, through her lawyer, has denied.
Peter, a lot of people in the Seattle area worked for this guy. Can you tell us about the expected interview with Bill Gates?
Yes, this is the one all eyes are on in a way, given how high profile Gates is and how, if anything, Epstein has done to kind of tarnish his reputation. Gates is expected to sit down for a transcribed interview tomorrow with the House Oversight Committee. It's behind closed doors, but we'll eventually get a transcript of it. Gates, for his part, has said that his relationship with Epstein was a mistake, that basically they had a few meals because he thought he could be helpful in terms of his philanthropic work, but cut off the relationship after he realized Epstein wasn't interested in that. That being said, there are these big questions about these extramarital affairs that he has acknowledged, and on top of that, why he even initiated this relationship with Epstein years after he pleaded guilty to crimes in Florida.
How long do you think it will be before we get to those transcripts?
If we look back to other transcribed interviews, it takes about a week. So, for example, late last week, we got the transcript from the interview of Pam Bondi. That was similarly one of these transcribed interviews. That was about a week from when the interview actually took place. And I think of all of these interviews we've seen thus far, I think there's the most attention on what Gates will say, given the fact that in the past, he's been able to control his message. There has never really been a format like this where he's basically facing open questions from different politicians for hours.
President Trump officially nominated Todd Blanche yesterday to be the next Attorney General for the U.S. He's serving as acting AG right now. Can you describe his involvement with the Epstein investigation?
Yeah, he is someone who, according to Pam Bondi, was just deeply involved in the actual management of the release of the Epstein files. She denied that she was blaming him, but said in this interview she had with House Oversight last month that he was the one who had the idea of interviewing Ghislaine Maxwell. He was the one who drafted that controversial memo last July where they basically said they weren't going to release any additional documents because they didn't believe there was a client list or any outstanding crimes they could prosecute. And he was the one who was managing the day-to-day release of those files, which of course was botched given the fact that they withheld documents, that they had improper redactions, they released sensitive information about victims. He's expected to face a lot of questions during his confirmation about his exact role there and whether or not he's fit to serve based on the example he set during his year-long management of that affair.
Back to Bill Gates for just a moment. When you search the connection between Epstein and Gates, someone named Melanie Walker comes up. Who is that?
Yeah, this is someone who came up yesterday, I believe, first in a Wall Street Journal report, I believe. And I think we'll see some more questions about this tomorrow when he begins to face questions. She's a doctor who says Donald Trump, who was apparently had close ties to both Gates and Epstein. This was really, again, elucidated yesterday in a Wall Street Journal report. She apparently had close ties with both of these individuals. She was a confidant to both Gates and Epstein, and her lawyer now says that she was in a coercive relationship with Epstein. So really a lot of questions that we have not heard Gates answer about this relationship, these ties, whether he was aware of that alleged coercive relationship. So a lot to see tomorrow, when he faces questions on that.
And Peter, when can we expect to see more Epstein files to be released? We had been promised there would be more to come.
Yeah, unfortunately, at this point, it seems like it's completely unlikely, given the fact that Todd Blanche wants to put this in his rearview mirror. He has basically said that in the past, the Epstein files has taken over at the Department of Justice. It kind of was a cloud over the entire first year of the Trump administration at the DOJ, and he doesn't want the second year to be in any way kind of impacted by the Epstein matter. We'll see if that's actually going to hold up, especially with this House Oversight investigation. That being said, there has been no expectation that the DOJ will release files, even though they're still technically sitting on, I believe, an additional 3 million documents. Their argument has been that those documents are either duplicative of other documents or include sensitive information about victims. That being said, when you actually look at the Epstein Files Transparency Act, there are still critics who say that the DOJ should have released those files and that without them, it's an incomplete production and it's a violation of that law.
All right, Peter, thanks for the update this morning. ABC News investigative reporter Peter Haralambous.
And now it's time to check traffic every 10 minutes. Here's Chris Sullivan.
And a lot of our commutes have just seen a big jump in their travel times. I want to thank Darren who let me know, include me into this crash in South Bellevue. Northbound 405, right as you get to Southeast 8th, we have a crash that's blocking the HOV lane and the left general purpose lane. Pretty well crunched up, a couple of different cars there, where that's backing us up all the way back to Coal Creek Parkway. You add that to the normal stuff we have in the Renton S-curves, and you got 50 minutes from Renton to Bellevue. That's added 20 minutes in just the last little bit. You got a 25-minute delay going the other direction on southbound 405 trying to go from Bellevue to Renton. That drive, 35 minutes because of a stalled semi blocking the right lane as you get towards the VMAC. Coming down from the north end, we've got about an hour drive from Everett to Bellevue and about 50 from Everett into Seattle. So pretty heavy day there. That's weather. Coming down from Marysville at about 5 to 8 minutes on that commute. Across the lake, no problems. The Valley Freeway, about 48 minutes from end to end. And we're still working with this crash on the South Hill, eastbound 512. Halfway down the hill, the left lane is blocked at about 10 minutes to your trip there. This report brought to you by the Seattle Mariners. Don't miss fireworks nights all summer long, presented by T-Mobile. Next show, June 19th. Get your tickets, mariners.com/fireworks.
This is Seattle's Morning News.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you can choose the best coverage option for you. Because you know you. Like, you know that hiking isn't for you. Sure, it sounds nice to be in nature while exercising, but that's what a gym and houseplants are for. I mean, you don't even like walking upstairs. So why would you walk up a hill for miles? To what, end up high in the air? Come on, you know you're scared of heights. Only you know you. So get coverage options within your budget with Progressive's Name Your Price tool. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Are you finding it hard to stay cool in your home during hot weather? The issue is likely your window's poor quality and lack of heat deflecting technology. Adrian here, owner of Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Our windows are 25% more energy efficient than Energy Star standards and come with high-performance sun matrix glass, which can help keep the summer heat out. Combined with our Leak Armor installation, your comfort will be secured for a lifetime. Choose Lake Washington Windows and Doors, a name you can trust. Visit lakewashingtonwindows.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-8157. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-8157. That's 800-575-8157. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 877 Cars for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
7 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? During the Xfinity Summer Savings Event, now through June 15th, new customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi, just $50 a month for 5 years. And get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a sixth sense. Plus, add one line of Xfinity Mobile Select and you can save an average of $60 a month over Verizon and AT&T. You can even try it free for a year. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities during the Xfinity Summer Savings Event. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Savings based on 1 gig internet and 1 mobile select line compared to similar Verizon and AT&T plans over 5 years. After 12 months, regular rates apply to mobile select. Xfinity internet required. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable.
How does your roof look after this winter? Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. Spring into action today. Save $3,000 on a new roof, siding, deck, or windows. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. A pair of U.S. Army pilots pulled out of the water near the Strait of Hormuz after their Apache helicopter went down, and sources tell ABC News they were rescued by a U.S. Navy surface drone. Due on Capitol Hill today, Leslie Groff, the former personal assistant to Jeffrey Epstein. ABC News chief investigative correspondent Aaron Katursky says she will face questions from the House Oversight Committee.
Groff scheduled Epstein's frequent encounters with celebrities, scientists, and politicians, booked travel for women, and according to federal prosecutors, numerous Epstein victims said Groff was responsible for scheduling massages during which they were sexually abused. Groff has denied any knowledge of Epstein's crimes or any participation in them.
Speaker of the House Mike Johnson expected to meet with President Trump today to talk about the president's pick to be acting director of national intelligence. Several members of Congress are pushing back on the pick of Bill Pulte, saying he has no national intelligence experience. This is ABC News. A college football player has been cleared to play this upcoming season, even though he admitted he bet on college games, even teams he was playing for.
Texas Tech QB Brendan Sorsby sued the NCAA after Texas Tech deemed him ineligible to play. Court documents show he admitted betting at least $90,000 on sports over 4 years, including dozens of bets on Hoosiers games while he was at Indiana University. But his lawyer says Sorsby never bet on a game he played in, and his lawyer frames the gambling as a mental health and addiction issue, arguing the NCAA is obligated to consider Sorsby's well-being and support him rather than punish him.
ABC's Sophie Flay. The big New York party that they'd been planning for the Knicks last night did not materialize. In fact, there were several arrests at watch parties after the Knicks lost to the San Antonio Spurs in Game 3 of the NBA Finals. Serena Williams back on the court today, competing in doubles at the Queen's Club Championships in London. I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
7:02 Tuesday morning. Here's what's happening.
Well, Seattle City Council President wants Mayor Katie Wilson to close 5 side streets off Aurora Avenue North. We'll get the details from Corwin Hake.
A strike could come any day at the Embassy Suites near Pioneer Square, just steps from the World Cup, where the matches kick off next week. 94% of union workers have voted to walk out.
And the Mariners beat Baltimore 6-3 yesterday behind a huge Josh Naylor grand slam.
7:02 now. Let's check traffic every 10 minutes with Chris Sullivan.
It's been a rough Tuesday across the board today. You had the rain through the area, and you can pretty much pad your schedule by about 10 minutes no matter where you're going. We've had a couple of different crashes to deal with. I'm going to start with 405 northbound because that's always one of our busier commutes. In fact, that corridor is probably close to the busiest corridor in the state. We have the HOV lane and left general purpose lane blocked for this crash right as you get up to Southeast 8th there, right as the HOV lane merges back into the general traffic there. We've got 2 lanes blocked, a 50-minute trip from Renton to Bellevue. That is about a 20-minute delay. Behind that, the Valley Freeway is manageable, 50 minutes from end to end. Now, southbound 405, also about a 25-minute delay. 35 minutes from Bellevue to Renton. Right lane remains blocked for this stalled semi right there by the VMAC. We have cleared the crash on eastbound 512 at the South Hill. The left lane had been blocked for a while, but it's bumper to bumper now that lane has reopened. Still plan on at least 10 or 12 minutes worth of a delay there. Federal Way to Seattle, an hour. Everett to Seattle, about 50 minutes, and an hour from Everett into Bellevue. This report brought to you by Bucky's Complete Auto Care. For 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has earned local trust with honest pricing, guaranteed repairs. That's why they're Carfax preferred. No gimmicks, just great service. Bucky's.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 7:04. Seattle City Council members are calling for new measures on Aurora.
And this is in response to urgent public safety requests. And we get the update live from KIRO News Radio's Corwin Hake.
And members of the city council say they will ask Mayor Katie Wilson to close to traffic 5 side streets near Northeast 100th and Aurora Avenue North to stop sex trafficking and gunfire related to that trade from leaching onto quiet neighborhood streets. Neighbor Lacey Tigertson tells the council the measure would protect an otherwise idyllic family environment.
It is really everything you would want in a neighborhood, except for how Aurora is spilling into our neighborhood, which it used to not.
She and other neighbors now are getting the support they've long requested from city council members, including Council President Joy Hollingsworth. The Seattle Times reports Hollingsworth will ask the mayor to close 5 side streets, and she says the council will codify that request with a new ordinance in which street closures are allowed if the chief of police deems them essential to public safety. Reporting live, Corwin Hake, KIRO News Radio.
Hotel workers near Lumen Field are threatening to walk off the job just days before the first World Cup match in Seattle. Employees at the Embassy Suites voted to authorize a strike after contract talks broke down. Front desk agent Hayden Irely says workers are struggling with rising costs.
Every time that they do come back to the table, it's more of an insult. Every time they just decide to kick another dime at us. So now they're actually starting to take us a little bit more seriously now that they are aware that this is happening.
A hotel spokesperson says the company is bargaining in good faith and has contingency plans if a strike happens. Irely says the union is seeking $3 annual raises over 2 years, year-round health care, and stronger staffing.
Local businesses are scrambling to make the most of FIFA fever. Here's KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery.
Soccer ball garlands are already hanging over the Chucker Cherries booth at Pike Place Market.
It's palpable, it's building.
Manager Duncan Bevins says all their staff, from the farm in Prosser to the market booth, have been prepping for weeks.
Backup plans for making sure we have enough inventory. We've developed our FIFA-specific products.
Like special bundles of the popular chocolate-covered Rainier cherries and boxes adorned with local art, even stickers. They're also ready to be ambassadors to out-of-towners. So is Rebecca Smith across town. She's the co-founder of Armistice Coffee on Eastlake Avenue.
I got projectors that I'm putting up at both cafes, which I'm really excited about. So I'm going to try and play every game, not just the ones that are in Seattle, and just have it on.
No matter what part of town they're in, businesses and regular folks are watching traffic closely.
There's going to be a lot of stuff happening that's out of our control, which is totally fine. It's for a good cause.
Wherever you are, stay tuned and check mynorthwest.com for the latest. In Seattle, Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
And protecting local and international soccer fans will take a multi-agency effort.
Like soccer, safety and security is a team sport.
That's Karen Villas with the FBI Seattle. She notes that FEMA, the Coast Guard, even the U.S. Secret Service will help keep the World Cup safe. She mentions one other team member, you.
And if anyone sees any suspicious activity or potential criminal activity, please do report that to law enforcement.
Fans headed to the stadium will see security measures including dogs, bomb detectors, even devices to measure magnetic fields.
And a heads up, Uber says the World Cup could lead to unprecedented demand. We get that part of the story from KIRO 7 TV's Ranji Sinha.
Riders may see higher wait times and increased fares based on historical analysis. Trip demand is expected to be significantly higher. Uber says there will be temporary surcharges, $10 at drop-off, $25 for pickup, and 100% of the surcharges will go to the driver. There will be additional pickup areas north of Pioneer Square, east of Fifth Avenue, and south of Edgar Martinez near the stadium.
They're really convenient.
For Owens, the Lime Bike or scooter will still be his go-to choice.
Seattle's tradition for news and conversation. This is Seattle's Morning News with Charlie Harger and Manda Factor.
7:08, glad to have you with us on this Tuesday. It's the 9th of June.
Already. It's hard to believe. How long have we been talking about the World Cup, and it's finally about to be here?
I know, less than a week away now.
Less than a week. Okay, well, I guess we're as ready as we'll ever be. This is a lovely Tuesday morning because we have Sully back with us today.
Welcome.
One day only.
So it's a limited engagement.
Yeah.
You guys can only take so much of me at a time.
How was the college reunion?
It was great. South Bend's beautiful. Man,
Yeah.
that campus is like doubled in size.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It was just, I think, as I said, not to be hyperbolic, but I think my soul filled.
Yeah.
I needed a recharging of the batteries. And it was really great to pay $3.20 for gas.
No kidding.
All over Indiana. Only $2 and like 10 cents, 20 cents cheaper in Indiana than it is here.
Welcome home.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Good to have you here.
Yeah,
and
it's good to be back.
We'll miss you also. I guess we should say that at the same time. You're going to be out for like a week and a half.
Yeah, probably. My plan is to be back 2 weeks from yesterday.
Yeah.
We got some stuff going on we got to take care of as a family, so we'll go from there.
All right. Well, coming up this hour of the show, we have News Nation host Leland Vitter. He's been keeping a close eye on the situation between Iran and Israel and also the election primaries throughout the U.S. We'll ask him all about that coming up at 7:15.
How about the 7:35 commentary?
All right. Budget Math 101. Let's crunch the numbers on state spending.
It's 7:09. Well, just in time for the World Cup, Renton Police have new body cameras that can perform real-time audio translations.
Language set to Spanish.
Hello, I'm Officer Vanderhook with the Renton Police. How can I help you?
Hola, soy el oficial Vanderhook del Departamento de Policía de Renton. ¿En qué puedo ayudarle?
That software can translate 56 languages.
An Aberdeen father is formally charged in the death of his 4-year-old son. Crystal Singletary, the mother-in-law of Aidan Bevan's biological mother, spoke with KIRO 7 TV's Madeline Ottley.
I can't imagine being the mother who is not able to grieve fully because she has a child that she is scared to let out of her sight.
Crystal says Aidan and his sister were living with Bevans while their mom was incarcerated. She had raised concerns, but Crystal says she was ignored. Aidan's former foster parents raised similar concerns last week.
He came into the foster care because there were concerns for his safety, and he was returned. And now this is the outcome.
Bevans is next set to appear in court on Thursday.
The 21-year-old suspect connected to the OnlyFans house in Bellevue, charged with human trafficking and money laundering. KIRO 7 TV's Eric Thomas spoke with a woman who says she was recruited multiple times while she was still a minor.
For them, to try to recruit me multiple times, it wasn't just once, it's just so baffling to me, and the fact that it's not just me and it's so many of these other girls.
Nikita Tichiello is facing 4 counts of human trafficking as well as charges of money laundering and organized crime. That following a disturbing pattern dating back to 2024 of allegations of assault, strangulation, and threats with guns for those young women living at the house.
Tichiello is being held on $5 million bail, set to be arraigned tomorrow morning.
The Mariners begin the week with a win, taking Game 1 of a 3-game series in Baltimore against the Orioles. Grand slam from M's first baseman Josh Naylor gave Seattle plenty of runs, but maybe the most encouraging moment of the game came in the bottom of the 9th. That's when Mariners closer Andres Munoz came in. He's had trouble this season locking down games, but not yesterday.
The 2-2. Swung on and missed, got him. Oh, wicked slider. Munoz gets the punch out. He lets out a yell. A bounce back from Andres Munoz and the Mariners. They beat Baltimore 6-3 as the wild ride ends in victory for the Mariners.
And the first pitch today against the Orioles is at 3:35. You can hear it on our sister station, 710 Seattle Sports.
And who was freaking out, texting all of us? So when Munoz was up there not getting the out we needed, Charlie.
I know.
Doubt.
Okay.
That was huge. He needed that confidence boost. Hopefully that gets him back on track.
7:12. That's time for a check on the weather. Now we bring in KIRO 7 TV meteorologist Nick Allard. How long is this rain going to be around, Nick?
Well, we've seen a steady rain, at least from the main front end. However, what that has led to is another little band of steady rain in a Puget Sound convergence zone. So we're seeing rain now around, say, like Seattle to about the Snohomish County line. And that's going to fluctuate north to south a little bit, but mainly pushing between like the King, Snohomish County border to about Everett. And that's where steady rain will hang out throughout the morning and throughout the day. While the rest of the area will just see spotty showers and sun breaks. Everyone's a little bit breezy, and we'll look for temps in the upper 50s and lower 60s. Around that zone later today, you could see a few isolated thunderstorms or maybe just hear a little rumble of thunder, but I don't know that we'll see anything more. Tomorrow, we'll see some moisture around in the morning and then slowly drying out. It really is just going to be a few showers or maybe like some sprinkles. And then the afternoon looks drier. We'll have temps getting into the mid-60s. And then I think you're going to find plenty more sunshine the rest of the week. In the 70s, at least for Thursday and Friday. About 80 on Saturday. And right now, Sunday, I have at 88, which would break a record. And I have at 90 on Monday, which would be the first time we've hit 90 and break a record. And by the way, the average day we typically hit 90 for the first time is actually about July 3rd. So we'll be a little early.
We're early.
Are you ready for the complaints?
I'm pretty sure they're already like being written right now, and I'm sure they're on the way in.
Dare we ask what happens on Tuesday? Are we going to cool off?
We are. Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
It goes back to, I forget exactly what I put. Maybe I think I put about 80-ish or so, low 80.
Okay.
So it's a little more reasonable.
All right. Thanks, Nick. Right now in Seattle, still raining. It's 53.
Let's get a check on traffic now. Every 10 minutes, here's Sully.
A little bit of improvement for those of you stuck in the 20-minute backup on northbound 405 trying to get from Bellevue into Renton.
Is that the Johnson Space Center in Houston?
The HOV lane remained blocked at this point, but the left general purpose lane has reopened right there by Southeast 8th. We're still rolling at about 50-plus minutes from Renton into Bellevue. Behind that, the Valley Freeway at about an average at 50. Southbound 405 continues to struggle 35 minutes from Bellevue to Renton. That is a 25-minute delay. Bumper to bumper from I-90 down past the VMAX. Stalled semi still blocking the lane there. We have cleared the crash on eastbound 512 in South Hill I told you about 10 minutes ago, but we're still working with a heavy drive. With the express lanes not open in the northbound direction anymore, it's back to the normal life. Federal Way to Seattle. Hour and 10-minute trip. That's what it should be. 35 minutes of that from South Center. Coming down from the north end, only 50 minutes from Everett to Seattle, but we're rolling an hour from Everett to Bellevue. And
it's a reminder that, yes, it doesn't get there very often, and only when it really has to.
$15 in the southbound 405 express toll lane. The lake bridges, though, are fine. This report brought to you by Harborstone Credit Union. Earn up to $30 per month just for using your Harborstone PNW cashback debit card. Open your free checking account online today. Harborstone.com/cash.
This is the city's longest-running radio news show. Seattle's morning news on KIRO Newsradio.
7:16 now. Every Tuesday, we call up Leland Bittert, the host of On Balance weekdays on News Nation.
We saw you dancing, Leland.
Digging the walkout music, guys.
All right. Leland posts his war notes on Substack, warnotes.com. Let's start with the war in Iran. Israel and Iran exchanged direct attacks for the first time since April. What happened over the weekend?
Well, Amanda, basically, Iran decided that they could get frisky and would challenge both the United States and Israel. I think this shows without question the validity of President Trump's strategy, the strength in isolating Iran, treating it like it's the pariah it is, and that's something Iran is terrified by. It also shows the vulnerability and the weakness in President Trump's strategy, which is we're 9 weeks into a 2-week ceasefire. Every time Iran has challenged the United States, they have gotten a tepid at best response that we've almost been apologetic for. So they decided to embarrass the United States and embarrass Israel by attacking them. That sort of shows you how emboldened Iran has become by a lack of meaningful response from President Trump.
I think I've lost track of how many times the president has said we're 2 or 3 days away from a deal, Leland. He's saying that again. How much does it appear that we are nearing a deal with Iran?
I'm old-fashioned. I also worked in the Middle East for 4 years, so perhaps I understand the language there in a different way. I don't really care what people say about the Middle East. I watch what people do. And there's been absolutely nothing the Iranians have done, in fact, the opposite, to show that they are willing to make the kind of deal that President Trump says he is going to demand. So there is the answer to the question. I think we are probably farther away from a deal than we've ever been, because Iran is going to keep wanting more, number one. And number two, as the president seems to be realizing, although he doesn't know what to do about it, every day his options get worse.
How would you characterize the relationship between President Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu right now?
Remember back in the day on Facebook, you could be like single, in a relationship, married, or it's complicated?
Yeah.
It's complicated.
Yeah, I think we're at the it's complicated stage.
So, Leland, complicating things even further is we have a new acting director of national intelligence. And as far as I can tell, this guy is totally unqualified to be in that position. What can you tell us about this Pulte guy?
He was part of sort of the MAGA, America First loyalist crew. He's best known in the White House for meeting with President Trump off hours and showing him memes they're on social media, like the Jesus meme, Trump is Jesus, and convincing Trump that it's a good idea to put those out on social media. He's secondly best known for having referred a number of Trump enemies for prosecution because of mortgage fraud, because he oversaw the Fannie Mae Freddie Mac operation. You said he is unqualified for Director of National Intelligence. That's why Trump appointed him acting, because he knew there was no chance he was going to get through Senate confirmation. So this seems to be another one of Trump's attempts to get, I'll call them easy wins. The economy, he's stuck. If he talks about it, he's seen as out of touch. As he doesn't talk about it, he's criticized for not talking about it. So the Bill Pulte pick is another way to sort of excite the MAGA base and inflame the media.
Let's talk about the primaries going on right now. Reality TV star Spencer Pratt seems to have lost steam in the race for LA mayor. What do you think about the way California counts ballots?
The issue isn't the counting. The issue is the process about which people are allowed to vote, as evidenced by the fact that a woman, to protest the laws, registered her dog to vote, and the dog voted and the ballot was counted. And the only reason it was caught was because she turned herself in to expose the absurdness of the process that allows people to register to vote to street corners, to parks, to homeless shelters where there are no beds. There's one empty lot that has 20 plus people to register to vote. All there is on the empty lot is a porta potty. That, combined with unlimited ballot harvesting, time to vote after the election for 2 weeks, that you can backdate a ballot, says to you that it is a feature, not a bug, of the Democrat system to allow for, and I'll put this lightly, shenanigans. The issue is you are not cheating when you are the one who wrote the rules, and you wrote the rules in your favor.
We have the primary today in Maine, Graham Plattner against the sitting governor there. What are you watching for in this race? So many eyes are on this Plattner fella.
Yeah, and with good reason, right? Because he had a Nazi tattoo. He talked enthusiastically about rape, accused of beating his girlfriend, and he's going to be the Democratic Senate nominee. If you had projected that a couple of years ago, you'd be thrown into the loony bin. That would not be possible. I think a couple of things. It shows that character doesn't count anymore. Number one, we'll see what happens with Susan Collins in the actual Senate election. But more importantly, I think we need to really be honest with ourselves about why somebody like that has a chance. And it's because he's talking about taxing the billionaires, free health care, pulling out America's support for Israel. These are things that are widely popular with disaffected and disenfranchised voters who feel like they've been left behind. And I think people would be wise to understand on both sides of the aisle, the establishment, of how angry the American people are to the point that they're willing to vote for a guy with a Nazi tattoo.
Just about out of time, but in your war notes this week, you highlight President Trump's difficulty with messaging on affordability. Americans care. He doesn't seem to.
Yeah, a lot on this at warnotes.com, our free newsletter. You can subscribe anytime. This is an issue. President Trump doesn't like talking about bad news. He's always been a pitch man. Trying to pitch the American people that the economy is going well seems to be a bridge too far, even for somebody who has been as successful as he has.
All right, Leland, Anderson Cooper has been doing his show from inside a newsroom. I'm wondering if you might consider doing your show from where you are right now. If somebody isn't looking at our YouTube live feed, you've got wood paneling behind you. It looks like it's just a pleasant place. What do you think? How about you do your show tonight from there?
I will put forth that idea. The Vittert Man Cave.
Is that what it is? It looks like a cabin in the woods.
Well, it's actually since you asked, it's my dad's cabin in the woods.
Oh, okay.
We're spending a little bit of time with the family and doing the show from up here. I do the actual show from a studio van that has a TV behind me. But this is my dad's office up in the North Woods of Michigan.
Okay. Nice. Well, you have our permission. If you want to try something new tonight.
I'm gonna tell the bosses.
Okay. I'll call your producer. He joins us every week at this time. Leland Vittert from News Nation. On Balance airs at 6 p.m. Seattle time.
Thank you. It's 7:23, time for traffic, and for that, we turn it over to Chris Sullivan.
And we've settled into our Tuesday drive. We've had a couple of different crashes in some unusual spots, but we've had some positive news over the last little bit. Looks like we might be, the left general purpose lane has reopened on northbound 405 getting into South Bellevue. HOV lane still remains blocked, but we have about a 50-minute trip from Renton to Bellevue. That's about 15 minutes slower than normal, but we're starting to see things improve there a little bit. We have also reopened the right lane of southbound 405 at 44th and VMAC. That's by the VMAC. That's been our most unusual slowing from Coal Creek Parkway down through the scene. We've had that semi-block in the right lane for the better part of the entire morning. It's still 35 minutes to go from Bellevue down into Renton, which is a 20-minute delay. Valley Freeway settled into about 50 minutes. That's not terrible. Eastbound 512 still slow down the South Hill as we cycle through all the cars that were stuck behind that crash right there about halfway down the hill. Federal Way to Seattle about an hour and 10 minutes, with 40 of those minutes from South Center. Again, remember, this is what it's like when you don't have the express lanes as a bonus in the morning on northbound I-5.
Are you singing?
Yeah, just reminding people this is normal. And this is what we're going to see when we return to normal again next year. Yeah, this is what happens. You forgot, from the Boeing Access Road all the way into downtown. That used to back up, and it is again, and it will again. We're looking at an hour and 15 on that trip. West Seattle Bridge also slow in the eastbound direction. Out of the north end, hour Everett to Bellevue, about 50 minutes Everett to Seattle. No shockers there. This report brought to you by Seattle Sports. You can always listen to your favorite local sports content on the FM dial, 97.3 HD2.
Showers start to dry out today. A high of 62, and tomorrow partly sunny and 66.
It's 7:25. We'll get to the 7:35 commentary in just a couple of minutes. Also, KIRO News Radio's Corwin Hake reports on the preparations being made ahead of the World Cup in Seattle. You're listening to Seattle's Morning News.
Word here for Closets by Design. They have done so much for our guest bedroom at our house. Not only do we have a wall bed, we also have set up a home office. So what's nice about this is that 99% of the time we don't have company over. The wall bed is up on the wall, and we have a nice wide open space, something we never had before. That's what they're all about at Closets by Design. They're helping get you organized, putting things where they need to be. It's set up for the way you actually live. Closets by Design does so many things: laundry rooms, entertainment centers, mudrooms, everything. It's all custom built in Kent, and it's designed for your home. They'll come out, they'll take measurements. Nothing is pre-made. Right now at Closets by Design, you can get 40% off plus an additional 15% off and 18 months 0% financing on approved credit if paid in full. So go to closetsbydesign.com right now or call them 1-800-BY-DESIGN to get your project started today.
This hour is brought to you by CM Heating.
KIRO News Radio, winner of 7 regional Edward R. Murrow Awards. Breaking news coverage, best newscast, excellence in writing, investigative reporting, sports reporting, hard news. Capped with a prestigious prize for overall excellence. And we thank you, our audience across the Pacific Northwest. You are the reason we strive to be the Northwest's trusted news source. KIRO News Radio. 97.3 FM.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one to trust for honest local pricing, expert service, guaranteed repairs. That dedication has turned them into a Carfax preferred designation. This is Sully. At Bucky's, every customer gets detailed Carfax updates, timely service reminders, a full service history. It's all right there at your fingertips. With 16 family-owned locations, no appointment needed, and easy financing, Bucky's makes auto care simple. Visit buckys.com today and drive with confidence.
Underestimating the trucking industry is one of the biggest mistakes I see victims and other lawyers make. Trucking companies have an army of lawyers and experts who act quickly after an accident to protect the company. Only an experienced trucking accident lawyer can navigate the complicated federal and state laws to protect your rights. If you or a loved one has been injured in a trucking accident, call Davis Law Group today for a free consultation or get my free book on trucking accident law at washingtonaccidentbooks.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-330-8323 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-330-8323. That's 800-330-8323. What do you have to lose? Call 800-330-8323. Again, 800-330-8323.
Are you a homeowner, 62 or older, and realize that your Social Security and other income may not carry you through your retirement years? Have you ever thought about a reverse mortgage? Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends at Tila Mortgage, a local company serving Washington residents for 30 years. And if you want to know how a reverse mortgage works or have questions like, are reverse mortgages safe? Will I still own my home? Or do I really have the option of not making monthly mortgage payments? Call Tila for a no-pressure conversation. They'll answer your questions with personalized recommendations and loan options that can safely help you improve your monthly cash flow, increase your available income, pay off debt, or make home improvements. Call Tila today. Tila, spelled T-I-L-A, is a name you could trust for truthful, honest, and ethical advice for all your mortgage needs. Call 206-766-8888. That's 206-766-8888 or
Insurance and property taxes are borrower's responsibility. Tila Mortgage LLC is a mortgage broker. NMLS 2472046.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
From the FIFA World Cup to competitive business environments, grand ambitions lead to game-changing achievements. At Bank of America, we're there to support businesses at every step, providing insights and expertise to help you gain an edge.
He shoots, he scores!
What would you like the power to do? Explore winning business solutions at BofA.com/gamechangers. Bank of America, official bank of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
If you've been sitting in traffic long enough to finish a podcast and question your life choices, it's time to flip your trip. Ride transit, find a park and ride, or roll past stress on a bike or scooter. Free yourself from traffic jams at flipyourtrip.org.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 7:31. Not dead yet, but local leaders are not satisfied with plans to fix King County's Regional Homelessness Authority.
KIRO News Radio's Jillian Raftery has the update.
Both Seattle Mayor Katie Wilson and King County Executive Gurmai Zahalai agree with an independent analysis that reform plans are falling short. So the two governments are putting an independent financial team inside KCRHA starting this month. All this comes after an audit revealed $13 million in public funds unaccounted for and weak internal controls. Both Seattle and King County have set an August 1st deadline to decide that agency's future. Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
A huge response to Seattle's first ever social housing building. More than 10,000 people applied to live there. The Seattle Times reports the lottery closed Friday with just over 10,200 applications for the 150-unit Ilara at the market in Belltown. The lowest income applicants get first crack at the 15 open apartments. Next 45 go to renters making up to $57,500 a year. As more apartments open up, higher earners will have a shot too.
Well, if you think public transit is crowded now, just you wait till thousands of global soccer fans pour into town.
Here we go. More on this live from KIRO News Radio's Corwin Hake.
Yeah, multiple agencies plan to ensure the trains run on time, and the buses, and the ferries, and further, that they are safe. Now, the reality here...
We haven't dealt with anything of this size.
But King County Under Sheriff Jeff Floor has his team ready, and transit riders will notice a beefed-up security presence.
You'll see several hundred deputies deployed throughout the system. And when I say the system, it's not just downtown Seattle. It starts out in Federal Way, starts out in Redmond. We have buses and light rails coming in. We have a light rail that now crosses a lake.
And then there's transit that crosses even larger bodies of water, as Daniel Delgado with the U.S. Coast Guard points out.
U.S. Coast Guard tactical boat crews will escort those ferries to and from the West Coast to Seattle. We will also have law enforcement officers on board the ferries to provide an overt security presence.
Of course, the Coast Guard also expects an uptick in local recreational boating, and Delgado says his department is ready there, too, to handle any maritime emergency. Amanda and Charlie.
Thank you, Corwin. Time to check traffic now every 10 minutes. Sully, where do we start?
Well, just think if they actually collected fares. Wow, we might even make some money during the work. Oh, wait a minute. Looking at the drive now, definitely seeing a lot more braking on northbound I-5 than people have gotten used to during the Revive I-5 work. We are bumper to bumper from Boeing Access Road all the way into downtown Seattle. We are looking at 50 minutes from South Center into downtown, hour and 25 all the way from Federal Way. So we're looking at 20-minute delays getting into downtown. That's just volume. That's just rain. Caught up in this eastbound on the West Seattle Bridge as well. Coming down from the far north end, we've got some brake lights through the Tulalip Outlet Mall. I'm looking for a crash near 88th. Haven't found it. You're going to need about 30 minutes from Arlington into Everett. And then you have about an hour and 15-minute trip from Everett to Bellevue. 50 minutes from Everett to Seattle. So much better on that side of the lake, even though we have a reminder, we have the express lanes open in the southbound direction again for the next month. Rented to Bellevue, still struggling at about 50 minutes, but it looks like we have cleared the HOV lane now as well from this crash at Southeast 8th. Coming down from Bellevue, it's still running at 35 minutes to go to Bellevue to Renton because of an earlier stalled semi. Those lanes have reopened. Lake Bridges, I-90, bumper to bumper from the west tip of Mercer Island all the way over. Give yourself 30 minutes plus to make that trip on I-90. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Well, the steady rain is moving on. We may even see some sun breaks by afternoon. We are seeing some steady rain in the convergence zone, though. 62 the high for today, and then we are going to dry out starting tomorrow. 66 tomorrow, mostly sunny by Thursday. By Saturday, warming up to 80, pushing 90 on Sunday. Right now in Seattle, rain and 53.
Time now for the 7:35 commentary. Governor Bob Ferguson posted on X over the weekend that Washington State faces serious budget challenges. The shortfall will be significant, he said. The full picture comes in December. On June 4th, the governor's budget director sent a letter to every state agency telling them three things: stop expanding programs, prepare significant cuts, and don't count on the new income tax on millionaires to cover anything. The whole pitch on the income tax is that it would close the budget hole. Doesn't actually start collecting until 2029. Court challenge is pending. Initiative supporters gathering signatures right now to put it on the ballot for voters to reject. Well, 10 years ago, Washington's operating budget was around $38 billion for a 2-year cycle. Today, it's $80.2 billion. It's more than doubled. Over that same decade, inflation rose 39%. Population rose 14%. None of those numbers come close to explaining the budget more than doubling. If spending had kept pace with inflation and population growth, the budget would be around $60 billion today. So the $20 billion gap is the problem in one number. Andrew Villeneuve of the Northwest Progressive Institute has been adamant that Washington is actually spending less, not more. He's made the argument on this show as recently as last week. His argument boils down to this: don't just look at how much the state is spending, look at how much the state is spending compared to how much money Washingtonians are making overall. By that math, government is taking a smaller slice than it did 30 years ago. He is right about that math, but the problem is what's behind the math. Washington's income shot up largely because of the tech boom. Microsoft, Amazon, those high-paying tech jobs pulled up the average so hard that even a state spending a lot more money looks restrained when compared to all the wealth on paper. Now, the cashier in Federal Way didn't see her income grow that much. The retiree in Spanaway didn't. What they saw was property taxes climbing, car tabs climbing, sales tax climbing, gas prices climbing. A lot of this traces back to COVID as well. The federal government sent Washington State billions of dollars in one-time relief money. Olympia, however, treated it like permanent revenue, like they'd get it every year. So they launched new programs. They hired new staff. All of it built on a stream of money everyone knew was going to dry up. Think of it like a sugar high. The federal money felt great while it lasted. Olympia spent it on programs and staffing and new layers of government that didn't exist 5 years ago. None of it was going to last. Everybody knew. And now the sugar crash is here. So what happens next? Ferguson promised last year that taxes would be a last resort of the 2025 legislative session. Well, he turned around and signed the biggest tax increase in state history. Now his own budget director is telling agencies not to count on the millionaires' income tax money. The revenue Olympia is counting on for next year's plan may never show up. So when the next session starts in January, watch what they reach for. Higher property taxes, higher car tabs, bigger B&O, maybe a wealth tax. And watch how they sell it. Every new tax will get framed as something that only affects the wealthy. The corporations, the hedge funds, the luxury houses, the high earners. Just like the millionaire's income tax was sold as something that would only ever touch millionaires. Until the income threshold quietly slides down. Until the property tax on a mansion becomes a property tax on the house you bought for $250,000 20 years ago, and now the county says it's worth $1 million on paper. You didn't get any richer. Your tax bill did. Every one of those taxes finds its way to the rest of us eventually. Tax a corporation? Well, the corporation raises prices. You pay more at the grocery store. That's how economics works. The lawmakers know it. They just count on you forgetting it. Olympia got the sugar high, and we, the taxpayers, are getting the bill. And that's the 735 commentary for Tuesday, June 9th, 2026. You can text your thoughts to the Muckleshoot Casino and Resort text line, 888-973-5476. Join the chat on our YouTube Live at KIRO Newsradio, and you can always leave a comment at mynorthwest.com.
It's 7:40. Sully, what's coming up in traffic?
Well, we're getting closer to an hour and a half to make that drive northbound I-5 from Federal Way into Seattle. We'll talk about it next.
Do you need glasses or contacts and you're now at the age where you also need readers? K2 Vision RLE is the permanent solution to eliminate the need for all those. Hey, it's Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision. Andy, for those nearing age 50 or so, refractive lens exchange can be a great alternative to LASIK.
That's right, Joe. K2 Vision RLE is a terrific permanent solution for a lifetime of great vision. The older we get, we experience the dysfunction of our natural lens, which affects both distance vision and requires the use of reading glasses. Plus, after K2 Vision RLE, you will never develop a cataract.
And like LASIK, K2 Vision RLE is quick and painless. The question is, which procedure is right for you?
With the experience of over 150,000 procedures, the doctors at K2 Vision will know which procedure is best for you. Schedule your free Zoom consultation today at k2visionrle.com. K2 Vision RLE. No readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts.
I was walking my dog, I fell and ended up with 3 tears in my meniscus. I was sent to a surgeon and they said the only way to get this fixed is to have surgery. That just wasn't an option. I didn't want to jump into surgery without trying anything else.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. We offer Jamie an alternative to the downtime and potential risks associated with invasive knee surgery. At Sound Pain Solutions, we help patients like Jamie avoid the side effects of painkillers, cortisone injections, and pain following surgery. Our comprehensive approach includes treatments like pressure wave, PRP, and advanced laser. These treatments reduce pain and restore mobility naturally. Now Jamie is able to do everything she enjoys without pain.
I'm grateful for being able to wake up every day and not be in pain. To be able to go about my day has been amazing.
Schedule a free consultation to learn if you qualify for our non-surgical and drug-free joint treatments at soundpainsolutions.com.
7:43 now. We check traffic on the 3s with Sully.
And we are looking at an hour and 25 minutes to an hour and a half to go from Federal Way to Seattle now. 20 minutes longer than it should take you. And all of that braking is from the beginning of Boeing Field all the way into downtown, where we have about a 50-minute trip just from South Center. So it is not pretty. 509 northbound, also really heavy out of the Burien area, working your way up into downtown. West Seattle Bridge backed up all the way to the golf course. Again, just volume, weather to deal with. Rented to Bellevue. Now that we have reopened the HOV lane up in South Bellevue at Southeast 8th, we've got about a 45 to 50 minute trip from Rented to Bellevue. By the time you get up to Factoria, it starts easing off. Southbound 405 continues to get better from Factoria down through 44th. VMAC, where we Seahawks practice facility, where we had that stalled semi causing some trouble earlier. Give yourself about 30 minutes to go from Bellevue to Renton. Valley Freeway, average about 50 minutes for you guys. Olympia to Tacoma is about 45. There is some braking eastbound 16 past Cheney Stadium. Normal stuff this time of day. Eastbound 18 over Tiger Mountain, normal as well. Lake Bridges, 520 is not too bad. I-90 does have some slowing off of Mercer Island over to the I-5 side of things. Hour drive from Everett into Bellevue, maybe an hour and 10, just under an hour from Everett to Seattle. And we're still looking at about 30 minutes to go from Arlington to Everett with heavy brake lights past the Tulalip Outlet Mall. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Well, the rain will taper off to showers today. Sun breaks a possibility by afternoon, 62 the high. Should be mainly dry tomorrow, 66, and then a really nice warming up pattern Thursday, mostly sunny, 72. By Saturday, around 80. It's going to be closer to 90 on Sunday and on Monday as well. Right now in Seattle, showers and 53.
All right, Sully, what's coming up in your choke point?
All right, I'm going to try to break an assumption that many drivers have that may prevent them from getting a ticket. So we'll talk about it coming up next.
If your home is 20 years old or more, it might be time to have your roof checked. Your roof is your home's first line of defense, and at Guardian, we help it last as long as possible. That's why every new install comes protected with a full year of free maintenance on us. Visit us at guardianroofing.com.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hard-working partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
Let's say you get into a car accident. You end up getting hurt. You're missing work, and now the insurance company wants you to handle the paperwork yourself while you're still recovering. Here's what happens when you go it alone. They throw out a lowball offer. You're on defense from minute one, and you're scraping for a fair shake against people who do this for a living. But here's what happens when you call Harold Carr Law Offices. They handle everything. The paperwork, the negotiation, the insurance company, all of it. You focus on getting better. They focus on getting you what you actually deserve. And trust me, that number is almost always higher than what you would have walked away with on your own. 7 locations across Western Washington, a huge qualified team, and a free consultation at carlaw.com. Carr is spelled with 2 R's, C-A-R-R. They'll actually listen to you and give you an honest assessment without any pressure. That's carlaw.com. 2 R's in car. Car accident? Call Carr. C-A-R-R. carlaw.com.
You're losing your hair and you simply need a solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Perungo and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration. From the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, maybe all 3 like I had. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. Right now, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. That's 425-449-8185. Or for the before and afters, visit Advanced advancedhair.com.
G. Scott here. Safeway wants you to know SunBucks gives qualifying families $120 per child for summer groceries. Some families are signed up automatically. Others need to apply. Find out if you should apply at freesummermeals.org.
Your windows and doors play a huge role in your home's efficiency and comfort. Choose Lake Washington Windows and Doors for windows that are up to 25% more energy efficient than Energy Star standards and reduce noise by up to 50%. Visit LakeWashingtonWindows.com today.
Upgrade your home with Lake Washington Windows and Doors. Be among the first 40 June projects to sign up for 5 or more installed windows and receive a free patio door. Plus, enjoy 12 months no interest, no payments financing. LakeWashingtonWindows.com.
Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Hey, oh, let's go.
Now, Choke Points with Chris Sullivan.
Presented by Carter Subaru.
Well, the state debuted work zone speed cameras more than a year ago. Sounds like a lot of drivers still don't understand how they work.
Just a little heads up, you only have a few weeks to figure it out because the fines are going up, and Sully's here to tell us all about it.
I think drivers have an assumption that they're playing on here, and it's wrong. So I'm here to try to help them out because on its face, the state work zone speed camera is pretty straightforward. I mean, WashDOT has small mobile cameras attached to SUVs by the trailer hitch. They go from work zone to work zone and try to keep the speeds down. WashDOT puts up a sign that warns drivers there's a camera active and then what the speed limit is. And for the cameras to be active, by state law, workers need to be in the work zone. It's pretty simple. However, I think a lot of drivers have an assumption about what workers present means and what that means in relation to where the camera is. Because several drivers have been tagged by these mobile cameras recently, have reached out to KIRO Newsradio to ask, well, why did I get a ticket here? A friend of John Curley's, a friend of G. Scott's, both drivers hit in the cameras in the work zone along Highway 18 between Tiger Mountain and I-90. Both drivers said the same thing, paraphrasing here. I didn't see any workers. Why did I get a citation? And that led me to reach out to WashDOT and the State Patrol to really kind of dig into the granular details of what does workers must be present mean, and if they have to be anywhere near that mobile speed zone camera, because I think a lot of drivers make the assumption that, it's got to be around the camera where I'm seeing things. Well, here's what I found out. The work zone can be 100 yards long. It can be 100 miles long. As long as there is one worker present in that zone, anywhere, you can get a citation. That SR-18 work zone is about 2 miles long. There is no proximity requirement in the law or the state code. Workers don't have to be anywhere near that camera. They just need to be somewhere in that work zone, and they don't have to be visible to drivers. As WashDOT told me, quote, that's why we tell people you should always assume a work zone is active when you enter it. And I agree. We want people to get home safely, right? If you see that there's a camera enforcement underway, you risk a citation if you're speeding, whether you see the workers or not. Now, workers being present, that's part of the evidence package that a state patrol does look at because a state patrol does review every citation. Why is this important? Well, first of all, you shouldn't be speeding in work zones. Pretty simple. Everybody deserves to get home safely on the roads, and that includes the workers. Secondly, the rules are changing July 1st. The first citation here will no longer be free.
Right now, it's a zero fine on the first one. The second one you get is $248. Starting July 1st, the first one's going to move from 0 to 125.
State Patrol's Chris Loftus says the second citation will remain at $248. Now, I've heard a lot from you guys over the first year of this, and you think the state's just looking for an easy cash grab here. Well, the State Patrol has caught more than 77,000 drivers speeding in these work zones in the first year. That's a problem.
We're not in the punish you business. We're not in the fine you business. We're in the slow you down business and save your life business. We're in the save the life of the people working on the side of the roads business.
At least 7,000 of that 77,000 were repeat offenders. So they got hit with a citation. Why are we mentioning this again as what's changing here again? July 1st, the big day. The first citation goes from a freebie to 125. They're also going to start deploying these mobile cameras east of the Cascades on July 1st, starting in the Spokane area on I-90, right there as you get towards the airport there on the west side of Spokane. WashDOT plans to have 10 of these cameras operating around the state by July, hopes to have 15 of them around the state through the end of next year. So the project is expanding. There's no longer any grace period, and drivers need to understand that the workers can be anywhere, and you don't have to see them. If you see that photo enforcement is underway, speed limit has dropped, slow it down.
So I just did a little math. I could be wrong. But if 77,000 people were to get tickets next year, there's no grace for even one of them. That's 9.6 million plus, because we're going to be adding 50% more speed cameras, and people will be, like 10% do it more than one time.
Yeah,
So we could be talking $15, maybe $20 million in revenue next year.
Yeah, and that money will go back. A lot of it goes back into the motor safety, the fund to help make roads safer, to do things like this. And I'm not telling you how to get out of the ticket. That's not the goal. I just trying to. I think a lot of us had assumptions like, oh well, there's the camera, there are the workers. It's okay. It's not like, oh, I'm in the middle of a 20-mile speed zone, or I don't see anybody for 20 miles, and there's a camera just random. I just want people to understand, when it's active, it's active.
Like you're headed to the beach, between Elma, Montesano, where it's just those long stretches.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, and if the camera's going to be active there, and the sign's there, just know you better be going the speed limit, or you risk getting it ticketed, and it doesn't matter where the workers are in that zone or if you even see them.
All right, you can find all of this at mynorthwest.com.
That is true.
What's happening in traffic, Sully?
Well, we're running way behind. This is our first Tuesday back since we have the express lanes back in their normal positions on I-5, and I think I-5 northbound drivers have kind of forgotten what it's been like without having that bonus lane open to them. We're looking at an hour and a half from Federal Way to Seattle, about a 25-minute delay, with close to an hour of that just from South Center, bumper to bumper from the beginning of Boeing Field all the way up into downtown. West Seattle Bridge also caught up in this significantly. Coming down from the north end, we've got about an hour and 15-minute trip from Everett to Bellevue, under an hour from Everett to Seattle, though we have added a new crash on southbound I-5 just out of the heart of downtown, kind of where those express lanes come back on. Left side of the road appears to remain blocked at this point. Renton to Bellevue still at 50 minutes. Bellevue to Renton about 30 still after an earlier crash there. Arlington to Everett at about 30 minutes, so we're behind schedule just about everywhere. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Showers, but some sun breaks by afternoon, 62 the high. Mainly dry tomorrow, and that's going to start a nice dry stretch.
You're listening to Seattle's Morning News.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Snapshot from Progressive wasn't created for just anybody. Oh no, we made it for you. Gradual breakers. You keep your eyes on the road, so you've seen it all. As long as it all happened directly in front of you, like a Swedish masseuse, your foot knows exactly the right amount of pressure to apply to the brake. That's why your passengers feel totally relaxed with you behind the wheel and occasionally super sleepy. With Snapshot, safe drivers like you get personalized rates based on your driving habits. Sign up today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents.
Give your attic an overhaul with new insulation from Guardian Roofing, Gutters, and Insulation. Stay cool all summer, slash utility bills, and boost your home's air quality. Call now and get $300 off attic ceiling and ventilation. Or visit us at GuardianRoofing.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
Don't wait. Insulate. Last year, American Crawl Space and Pest Services gave over $2 million in insulation rebates from PSE, more than any provider in the state. If your home was built before 1990, you're eligible for recouping up to 95% of insulation replacement costs. Insulate with American Crawl Space and keep your home warm during the winter and cool during the summer.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Olympic Hot Tub has terrific ways to achieve total wellness at home. Saltwater hot tubs, swim spas, saunas, and cold plunges, all waiting for you. See our current specials with exciting savings at OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
I had pain, I had numbness in my feet. That pain and that numbness just got worse and worse and worse as time went on.
This is Greg describing life with neuropathy.
I went to 5 podiatrists, tried different treatments, tried different orthotics, tried different shoes, had cortisone shots in the tops and the bottoms of my feet. Saw a neurologist. All my medical doctors said, can't help you. Live with the pain. You're not going to be able to sleep. This is your life. And then I just gave up until I found Sound Pain Solutions.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, drug, and pain-free procedures that help neuropathy sufferers like Greg find relief.
I feel better. I mean, just feeling better is huge.
If you experience numbness, shooting or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it today at carsforkids.org. Your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call 1-877-CARS4KIDS to donate your car today. That's Cars with a K.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, KIRO FM, and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle, Northwest News.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. 2 chopper pilots not injured when their Apache helicopter crashed in the Gulf of Oman near the Strait of Hormuz, which Iran has effectively closed. It's primary day in 4 states. The most interest is in Maine, where Graham Plattner is hoping to become the Democratic candidate for Senate, despite some recent controversies. Spencer Pratt is poised to lose his bid to become the next mayor of Los Angeles. It's projected he will not make it to the runoff. In about an hour, NASA will announce the new crew for the next Artemis mission, and the crew of the last mission will be there to pass the baton. Literally, says ABC's Gio Benitez.
Victor Glover, the first person of color to travel to the moon. Christina Cook, the first woman. Jeremy Hansen, the first Canadian. And it turns out that they brought batons with them to symbolize that this is really a relay race and that each mission just builds on the next.
Sales of previously occupied homes picked up last month at their fastest pace since December as the spring home buying season. This is ABC News. A man accused of sneaking onto a flight from Houston to Los Angeles in court on Monday.
His attorney claims 25-year-old Abdul Rahman Oriyami unknowingly bought a fake boarding pass online, thinking he was buying a cheap ticket.
All of us can see the problem with using the internet to obtain a ticket when it's not coming from the airline.
Investigators claim Oriyami tried twice to board a flight using the pass, but was turned away. They say about an hour later, he walked past distracted gate agents and boarded a flight to Los Angeles, where he was later found hiding in the bathroom.
ABC's Hannah Battah. The war in Iran now in its 4th month, and Americans say they are certainly feeling it in the form of higher prices, especially when it comes to energy and food. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York survey finds 44% of Americans now say their financial situation is worse now than it was 1 year ago. I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
It's 8:02, and here's what we're following.
Seattle City Council President is pushing Mayor Katie Wilson to close 5 side streets off Aurora Avenue North this week. Corwin Hake will have more.
Washington state agencies being warned to brace for budget cuts. The Office of Financial Management says revenue from the new millionaire's income tax can't be counted on, and it's tied up in legal challenges.
And Mercer Island teen Elliot Abramson has died after being hit in the neck by a lacrosse ball at a recruiting showcase last week. His family says he'll save lives as an organ donor.
It's 8:03 now, and Chris Sullivan is at the traffic desk.
And we are looking at the heaviest braking now being northbound I-5 from South Center into downtown. I think northbound I-5 drivers have gotten used to a much better drive with the express lanes open in the northbound direction during the first 6 months of the year. That changed yesterday as Revive I-5 went away, and we're back to reality in a big way. Hour and a half to go from Federal Way to Seattle, with 50 of those minutes, maybe close to an hour, just from South Center. So that's a 25 minute delay. Northbound 509 and 99 are also jammed up coming out of Burien more than we've seen over the last 6 months. Eastbound across the West Seattle Bridge, we're backed up all the way to the golf course. Looking at the Valley Freeway, hanging in there. We're looking at 55 minutes, depending on how you hit the brakes, right there at 167 and 405. And then you have the Renton S curves being relatively normal. The crash we had up near Southeast 8th is out of the way, so we're back under 45 minutes from Renton to Bellevue. Lake Bridges, okay. Both westbound slowing a little bit, 5 or 6 minutes worth of a delay, totally probably about 28 minutes, either Lake Bridge. And coming down from the north end, about an hour and 15. Everett to Bellevue, about an hour, maybe under, from Everett to Seattle. So all in all, out of the north end, with things back to normal, not bad. This report brought to you by Harborstone Credit Union, earn up to $30 per month just for using your Harborstone PNW cashback debit card. Open your free checking account online today. Harborstone.com/cash.
It's 8:04 on the Tuesday, June 9th, 2026 edition of Seattle's Morning News. I'm Charlie Harger with Manda Factor.
Weeks of passionate lobbying from neighbors of a North Seattle crime zone have spurred city council members to take direct action.
We get the update live from KIRO Newsradio's Corwin Hake.
City Council President Joy Hollingsworth said it Monday afternoon. She said, "We need to close the streets." She's advocating a measure long requested by Jake Wallach and other neighbors for a section of Aurora Avenue North where gunfire related to sex trafficking has become alarmingly frequent.
SPD's own data that was shared with me recently confirmed that over 60% of the shootings on my block are directly related to prostitution.
So what do? Well, now the Seattle Times reports Hollingsworth, the city council president, has asked Mayor Katie Wilson to close 5 side streets off Aurora because she says traffic calming measures there are not stopping the drive-by shootings that in some cases have sent bullets into homes. Also, a newly introduced council bill would allow the street closures if the police chief deems them necessary to prevent criminal activity. Reporting live, Corwin Hake, KIRO Newsradio.
8:05 now. An Aberdeen father is officially charged with the death of his 4-year-old son. KIRO 7 TV's Madeline Ottley was in court.
On Monday, a judge bumped bail from $150,000 to $750,000, in part because of Jacob Bevan's 3 active warrants at the time of his arrest.
Court's review of the probable cause statement suggests that there's likely tampering of evidence as possible.
Crystal Singletary clapped in the courtroom as that development came down. Her daughter-in-law was Aiden's biological mother.
I wanted him to hear that.
She says Aiden's mom is doing her best to hold it together in front of her young kids, even in the face of disturbing details about the way Aiden's body was found with multiple broken bones and burn marks.
Pierce County deputies arrested a 31-year-old man in South Hill after complaints he was approaching children at an apartment complex. Calls came in Saturday evening along the 14,100 block of Meridian East.
I'm going to ask you a question. Are you a sex offender?
Yes, I am, sir.
Okay.
Am I ever doing anything like that again? Never in my life.
I'm not
Have
asking...
I done anything linear to it?
Deputies say the suspect refused commands to stay put during questioning. After multiple failed attempts to get him into a patrol car, a struggle followed. He was eventually detained and booked for interfering with an investigation and violating sex offender terms.
A 21-year-old man faces serious charges tied to what investigators call a Bellevue OnlyFans house. Here's KIRO 7 TV's Eric Thomas.
Nikita Tikielo is facing 4 counts of human trafficking as well as charges of money laundering and organized crime. That following a disturbing pattern dating back to 2024 of allegations of assault, strangulation, and threats with guns for those young women living at the house.
Nikita definitely makes it sound promising, like these girls are going to make a lot of money and have a lot of opportunities, be able to fly out to these really expensive cities, nice places. And it just doesn't end up being the case.
Instead, prosecutors claim Tikielo was in complete control of their OnlyFans accounts.
He's being held on $5 million bail. He'll be arraigned tomorrow morning.
A major change could be coming to Washington classrooms. No cell phones during the school day. The Seattle Times reports Governor Bob Ferguson and State Superintendent Chris Rakedahl will ask lawmakers next year to approve an away-for-the-day policy for K-12 public schools. That would mean phones off and put away from the first bell to the last, including lunch and passing periods, with some exceptions for medical needs or learning plans. We'll learn more during a press conference at 10 o'clock this morning.
8:08 now. It's Tuesday, June 9th here on Seattle's Morning News. Great to have you with us. I'm Charlie Harger alongside Manda Factor.
Chris Sullivan is back for another hour.
Yeah, and you know what's, you talk about that cell phone, the school cell phone thing. Question. I've got the chance to visit with a bunch of some really old friends, old roommates, and things like that who have kids in schools around the country. What they're doing on the East Coast, they just have they cut the service. So you go into a school and you have a phone as a parent, no signal. They just shut it down on campuses. So that's happening.
Legal?
It's happening outside of D.C. in the Virginia area for sure. So some of them do the bags, which we do, but I'd never heard of. One of my oldest buddy was like, I was there having a parent teacher conference. I get outside and there are like 30 texts from his other daughter who needed a ride home from the other school.
Oh my goodness.
They'd shut it down. I'm like, wow, I didn't even know that was something you could do. I guess I shouldn't say that out loud. That'll be Rakedahl something to think about. But I was like, wow, so there are different ways to combat that thing, and that one was like, whoa, you might want to check that out.
Yeah, I'm really super interested in what they have to say. It's a 10 a.m. press conference, so we'll have more throughout the balance of the afternoon, whatever those plans are.
Coming up this hour of the show, the importance of getting a proper medical diagnosis. Our chat with Lily Honeycutt. She spent years struggling with her physical health before finally getting a diagnosis. Now she's an advocate for those with her same condition.
And G. Scott will stop by to discuss the way new college graduates are grappling with AI.
It's 8:09. American Airlines is marking its 100th anniversary with another major milestone for Boeing. 100 on the way. The carrier has taken delivery of its 100th Boeing 737 MAX aircraft. The airline still has nearly 140 Boeing jets on order, including an additional 737 MAX aircraft and 787 Dreamliners. The delivery comes as Boeing works to increase production in Everett.
Seattle's World Cup matches are less than a week away. Commuters making their game plan. Katie Bunton lives in Paulsville, makes her way to the UW by ferry, foot, and light rail. She's expecting to have an evening commute of 3 hours or more.
Those of us who do the ferry commute on the regular are already used to summers being pretty gnarly. It's just going to be extra gnarly with FIFA.
Extra gnarly. Now that first match is 6 days away.
That's not good. Extra gnarly.
No.
Businesses are busy trying to put their best foot forward during the World Cup, like Chucker Cherries at Pike Place Market, where manager Bevan Duncan is expecting record crowds.
So, and then we've got our sticker, which has, the needle, our soccer ball, and our little checker bird. Seattle 2026. So we're in the spirit. We're ready to go.
Says they're stocking up on products along with snacks and Gatorade for the long days at the booth.
I just had to break down Roman numerals in my head. It's LX. That's 60, right?
There you go.
Okay, so this will make more sense now. Actor Chris Pratt, proving once again he's one of the Seahawks' biggest fans. Marvel and Jurassic World star was given his first look at Seattle's Super Bowl 60 championship ring. Video from the team shows Pratt's reaction.
Dude, the players are just going to love this, man. That makes me so happy. They earned it. They deserve it, man. What an absolutely beautiful ring.
The unveiling comes ahead of the official ring presentation for Seahawks players, coaches, and staff. Big reveal is Thursday. Pratt graduated from Lake Stevens High School in 1997.
Another key Mariner has landed on the injured list.
A tremendous play by J.P. Crawford. He robs Pasquantino of a base hit. A dazzling effort.
J.P. Crawford hit by a pitch on his right hand Friday. He hasn't played since. Crawford's second stint on the IL this season. He started the year dealing with a nagging shoulder injury.
Gnarly win for the Mariners last night. M's first baseman Josh Naylor had the hot bat, breaking out the rye bread and mustard in the fifth.
Here's the pitch. Swung on. That is blasted. Right field. It's towards the big wall. It is gone! Over the big wall. Grand slam. Sail away, Josh Naylor.
Yeah, they beat the Orioles. They take them on again today at 3:35. You can catch the action on our sister station, 710 Seattle Sports.
It's 8:12. It's time for a check on the weather. For that, here's KIRO 7's Nick Allard.
Well, we're looking at just some spotty showers overall. However, if you look around like the King and Snohomish County area, those spots will see some more consistent rain thanks to the Puget Sound convergence zone. But I do expect everybody else a few spotty showers, a little breezy, and cool temps in the 50s and 60s. That same band of rain that we'll see mainly around Snohomish County later today could produce an isolated thunderstorm or two. Highs only about 62. Tomorrow, a little moisture around, then slowly increasing sun breaks, getting into the mid-60s, then 70s for Thursday and Friday, 80s for Saturday, and right around 80. And I have us in the upper 80s and lower 90s for Sunday and Monday. Right now, 88 for Sunday and about 90 for Monday.
Great. He says it'll cool off a little bit on Tuesday. Right now in Seattle, still some showers and 53.
Yeah, the forecast high today is LXII, by the way.
Very good.
8:13 now. Time to check traffic every 10 minutes on the threes with Chris Sullivan.
62?
Yes.
All right.
Hey!
I was paying attention. Wow.
All that Notre Dame education finally paid off for you, Sully.
Again, I went by a whole bunch of buildings I never went into, like the library when I was there over the weekend. Science building, but no. Okay, here's what we're dealing with. Kind of a standard Tuesday for life back to normal with the express lanes switching like they used to. We're looking at Federal Way to Seattle of about an hour and 25 minutes, so behind schedule by about 20 minutes, with 50 of those minutes from South Center. This is what life was like before January. Looking at bumper to bumper from the beginning of Boeing Field all the way into downtown. 99, 509 are basically bumper to bumper coming down into downtown as well. The West Seattle Bridge backed up to the golf course. That was reality every day before Revive I-5, and that's what we're seeing now too. Looking at the Valley Freeway, heavy braking in and out of the Auburn area, and then at the north end, 50 minutes from end to end isn't too bad. But then you have a matching 50 minutes from Renton to Bellevue. Those S-curves are just not budging. By the time you're up to about 44th, it starts to thin out. Then you hit it again over the top of I-90. Speaking of 90, we have off and on braking across Mercer Island to the lake into downtown. We have a crash partially blocking on the ramp from 90 to northbound 5 into the CD lane. So give yourself 30 minutes on I-90, about 25 on 520 to go from Bellevue to Seattle. Coming down from the north end, we're trying to get better in Marysville and across the Trestle. We still have work to do there. And then about an hour and 20 from Everett to Bellevue, with an hour of that from Linwood. Everett to Seattle, about 40 minutes, an hour with 40 of those minutes from Linwood. KIRO Newsradio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
Reliable, refreshing, and ready every morning. Seattle's Morning News.
Well, imagine going from running half marathons to barely being able to walk a few blocks, sleeping 18 hours a day, and being told over and over again, nothing's wrong, you're just stressed out. That was actually life for Lily Honeycutt before she was finally diagnosed with a rare immune disorder. And Lily is with us on Seattle's Morning News. Nice to have you with us, Lily.
Thanks, Amanda. It's great to be here.
Can you just take us back? When did you know something wasn't quite right?
I think it was back when I was in high school, and I started having these strange symptoms and trying to figure out if something more common was wrong. We went through allergy testing and food elimination diets and things like that. But after kind of getting rid of the more classic options, the doctors just didn't quite know what to do with me. And, my symptoms kind of escalated from there.
Were they obvious symptoms, or what did you experience?
Yeah. At first they were more subtle. It was just kind of minor stomach issues and feeling a little off or more tired. Then I started to notice I was getting sick a lot more easily than my peers. kind of turned into long-lasting infections, things that were more severe. I was on antibiotics every month or so for a while in college. And by the time I was in my late 20s, like you said, I was just exhausted. I couldn't, walk around the block after, running half marathons just a few months before. They escalated very, very quickly in those final few months.
How long did it go on?
It was almost 15 years between when my symptoms started and when I was diagnosed.
Okay, that would be so frustrating, both mentally and
really
physically.
Yes, it really, really was. Yeah.
So after years and years and years, did you end up finding a new doctor who was able to diagnose you, or how did that diagnosis come about?
Yeah, so I was very lucky when I first moved to Seattle to find a really supportive primary care doctor. And she was kind of with me every step of the way. She clocked when my symptoms started to get a lot worse and ordered a new round of tests, which checked some things that had been checked before. But I guess somebody looked at the results a little bit more closely because I had an irregular test result, low IgA, that she picked up on and was curious about, thought that it warranted more investigation and sent me to immunology. And I'd actually had that same result about 10 years earlier, and the doctor that I was seeing at the time did not follow up on it. So I think that sense of curiosity and desire to investigate and get a little bit more information from my primary care doctor is what ultimately made the difference.
Make us smarter. I just said immune disorder, but what is the official diagnosis?
Yeah, so it's a primary immune disease called common variable immunodeficiency. And primary immune diseases are a group of chronic illnesses where a part of the immune system or parts of the immune system don't work the way that they are supposed to. And as I was experiencing, you can have repeated or severe infections, infections that don't go away with the normal timeline and require antibiotics. And you can also have multi-system effects the way that I was experiencing as well. So stomach issues, fatigue, headaches, things like that.
I can't imagine how it felt when you finally got a doctor to say, hey, let's look more into this. What did it feel like when you got that diagnosis finally after so many years?
Yeah, I have explained this to people who have not experienced chronic illness, and they have been surprised that I was so excited to receive a diagnosis. But when you know that you're sick and, like you've said, are being told that things are fine, hearing that was incredibly validating. And I felt very hopeful, because even if the condition that I was experiencing wasn't treatable, it obviously ended up being treatable, but I wasn't sure at the time how much better I would get to feel. I still would have access to, patient care groups and community. I could research for the things that I was experiencing a little bit better. There's so many positives that come with a diagnosis, kind of regardless of what it is. And yeah, definitely validating, if nothing else.
How rare is this? Do you know?
So it's about 1 in 25,000, 1 in 50,000, somewhere around there. But the current estimate actually is that immune diseases like mine are severely underdiagnosed. So between 70 and 90% of people with an immune disease like mine don't know that they have one.
70 to 90?
Yes, 70 to 90%. Huge diagnostic gap. I was absolutely flabbergasted when I learned that as well.
Oh my gosh. So what is treatment, and does that continue now?
Yeah, so treatment is immunoglobulin replacement therapy. Immunoglobulin is basically antibodies, and with my condition, I don't produce functional antibodies. And immunoglobulin replacement therapy is a plasma-derived therapy, which means that it is made from human plasma donors. And it is for life. So immunoglobulin is constantly degraded as it's used, and if your body produces more, that's okay. But when you don't make more, like me, you have to keep replacing it. But that's a very mild price to pay, in order to live the life that I have now.
If it comes from humans, that means we can probably help.
Yes, absolutely. And that's one of the things that drove me to start talking about it. I didn't know anybody that had ever donated plasma. And, my family and friends, after they realized that was what was helping me, were very keen to figure out what they could do as well. And anybody can look into plasma donation. You can get paid for donating plasma just a few hours a month, and you can really help people like me live a better life.
What do you want to say to those who already donate plasma?
Oh my gosh, I would just express my just immense gratitude and let them know that the life that I have now is one that I didn't expect to get back. I really feel like I've been given a second chance and an opportunity to have a normal life and, do the things that I love and experience the world. And that is only possible because people choose to donate plasma. So I am just incredibly grateful.
Is one of those things you love running again?
Yes.
That's awesome.
I'm not completely running now. I'm recovering from hip surgery at the moment, but have generally been able to get back to running and climbing and hiking and being active the ways that I love to. And I will be running again soon as well.
For people listening to your story right now who go to their doctor and don't feel they get the answers they need, what's your advice?
Yeah, and I know that there are a lot of them because like I said, 70 to 90%. I know that there are people out there who are hearing that they are just fine. And my advice would be to trust your gut. You know yourself, you know your body, and you know when things are wrong, you know when it's time to push for care. So I think maintaining that trust in yourself can be really hard when you're hearing from medical professionals that you are okay, but just staying persistent and believing what your body is telling you. And I think finding a supportive primary care doctor as well, somebody who's going to be your advocate and help you get the care that you need, goes a long way.
Do you know where people can find more information?
Yes. So the Immune Deficiency Foundation is a fantastic resource for people who are curious about immune deficiency disorders like mine, or who think that they might have one. And then for plasma donation, they can go to pptaglobal.org to find a plasma donation site near them.
Lily Honeycutt, thanks for sharing your story. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Manda. Great to be here.
Okay, nice to meet you. Take care.
8:23 now. Let's check traffic on the threes. Here's Chris Sullivan.
And this is a typical Tuesday out there with the express lanes back in their normal configuration for the I-5 corridor. And that just means it's bumper to bumper from South Center all the way into downtown. We may have forgotten that for the last 6 months, but that's the way it is, and that's the way it's supposed to be. That's just our biggest volume commute in the morning, and we're bumper to bumper from beginnings of Boeing Field all the way into downtown. 50 minutes from South Center, hour and 20 all the way from Federal Way. So really heavy, and it's just a volume and a little bit of weather. 509 and 99 are also backed up much more significantly than you've been used to the last 6 months as well. West Seattle Bridge, that corridor backed up to before the golf course now, all the way over to I-5. So not exactly a very good day there. Valley Freeway is back under 50 minutes, so we're improving there, but we do have a 50-minute trip to follow that. From Renton on up into Bellevue. It's bumper to bumper all the way past 44th and then kind of turns to the meandering yuck that goes all the way up into Bellevue. Across the lake, give yourself about a half an hour on I-90, just under on 520. Coming down from the north end, still slow in through the Marysville area. That's just the volume and some weather. 25 minutes, Arlington to Everett. 204, though, bumper to bumper almost all the way down from Lake Stevens down to the east end of the trestle. The trestle itself is fine. Hour and 20 from Everett to Bellevue, an hour from Everett to Seattle. KIRO Newsradio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Meandering yuck. That's what we're seeing in the convergence zone right now.
Yeah, I'm just trying to, I'm trying to channel my inner Nick Allard.
There you go. All right. Still some scattered showers around, some heavier rain in the north end. Sun breaks eventually for all of us in 62, and then we're going to start drying out tomorrow. 66 tomorrow. Right now it's 53 in Seattle.
Coming up, KIRO News Radio's Corwin Hake reports on the preparations being made ahead of the World Cup in Seattle.
Also an update on the Epstein Files investigation. We get the latest from ABC News investigative reporter Peter Haralambous.
KIRO News Radio, winner of 7 regional Edward R. Murrow Awards. Breaking news coverage, best newscast, excellence in writing, investigative reporting, sports reporting, hard news, capped with a prestigious prize for overall excellence. And we thank you, our audience across the Pacific Northwest. You are the reason we strive to be the Northwest's trusted news source. KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Carrie injured her back years ago. This is her story.
My herniated disc was so significant that they did the first surgery, the laminectomy and a microdiscectomy. The first surgery failed, and I ended up with another herniated disc, which is pretty typical that herniations just move up your spine. The doctor was recommending another fusion surgery, so I researched alternative therapies. Sound Pain Solutions developed a plan that included bioelectric therapy, laser therapy, decompression, pressure wave therapy, in addition to rehab. Once we started that comprehensive approach, it went phenomenally. They honestly have given me my life back, and I'm happy to help other patients find sound pain solutions sooner.
Schedule a free consultation to learn if you qualify for our non-surgical and drug-free treatments at soundpainsolutions.com.
This is a test of your emergency alert system.
This is a test, only a test, of the emergency alert system from the Snohomish County Department of Emergency Management. Had this been an actual alert, this system would bring you important information.
Hey, Jake Skorheim here. Summer means I have a laundry list of exterior home improvements to tackle and no time to do it. Fortunately, the team in the red van has me covered. And of course, I'm talking about Valentine Roofing, the pros that keep me off extension ladders and precarious positions. If your summer home improvement list has a new roof, siding, or a gutter upgrade, you owe it to your home to give Valentine Roofing a call. Once again, they've been awarded the 2025 Best in the Pacific Northwest Awards for Roofing by the Seattle Times. And it really comes down to two things: the best product backed by a lifetime warranty and exceptional customer service. They call that the Valentine Experience. It's seamless communication, meticulous cleanup, and extra mile service. And right now, qualified homeowners can take advantage of $0 down, 0% financing with 6 months deferred interest when paid in full within the promotional period. Financing subject to approved credit. Call 206 Roofing to schedule your free estimate today. That's 206 Roofing. And remember, when you see the red Valentine van, you know your home is in good hands.
Hey, it's Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision. If you're at the stage where you need readers, whether you've had LASIK or not, it may be time to consider K2 Vision RLE. I tell my King LASIK patients, laser vision correction won't solve the eventual need for reading glasses due to an aging, dysfunctional lens.
But K2 Vision RLE will. It's not a question of if your lens becomes dysfunctional, it's when. At that point, you'll need reading glasses and could benefit from refractive lens exchange. K2 Vision RLE is a quick, painless procedure that restores distance and near vision permanently. In other words, no glasses, no contacts, and no readers.
And no cataracts.
Exactly. After K2 Vision RLE, you will never develop a cataract.
K2 Vision doctors have performed over 150,000 procedures and followed the outcomes. They have the experience to know when it's your right time for RLE. Schedule your free Zoom consult today at k2visionrle.com. K2 Vision RLE. No readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts.
It started as a puddle.
Where?
In the shower.
Uh-oh.
Then the kitchen sink.
Started backing up?
Yeah.
I know where this is going.
Clogged up.
Right. No problem.
Beg your pardon?
There's no clog we can't clear.
You're Dan.
From Apollo Plumbing.
This is going to get pricey.
How about $83?
To clear my drain?
Apollo Plumbing clears main drains every day.
For $83?
$83 or it's free.
What's the catch?
No catch. We'll even do a camera inspection.
Why's that?
It's the best way to find the cause of your clog.
And it's included?
No extra charge. Truth is, we hate clogs.
I don't love them.
Seen them all.
Ew.
I promise, there's no clog Apollo can't clear.
Guaranteed.
83 or free.
Goodbye, slow drains.
All it takes is an accessible clean out.
And Apollo gets my drains draining again.
You call, we come, it's fixed.
My heroes.
Just doing our job.
Thank you, Apollo Plumbing.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
For over 50 years, Bucky's Complete Auto Repair has been the one locals trust for fast, friendly service with guaranteed repairs. With 16 family-owned locations and a Carfax preferred badge, Bucky's makes it easy with same-day service and available financing. Visit Bucky's.com.
Now, the latest from KIRO Newsradio and MyNorthwest.com.
Live from East Lake Avenue.
You're listening to Charlie Harger and Manda Factor, Seattle's morning news.
Good morning. It's 8:30. A 21-year-old man is facing serious charges tied to what investigators call a Bellevue OnlyFans house.
KIRO 7 TV's Eric Thomas has details.
Nikita Tikielo is facing 4 counts of human trafficking as well as charges of money laundering and organized crime. That following a disturbing pattern dating back to 2024 of allegations of assault, strangulation, and threats with guns for those young women living at the house.
Nikita definitely makes it sound promising, like these girls are going to make a lot of money and have a lot of opportunities, be able to fly out to these really expensive cities, nice places, and it just doesn't end up being the case.
Instead, prosecutors claim Tikielo was in complete control of their OnlyFans accounts.
He's being held on $5 million bail, set to be arraigned tomorrow morning.
A familiar name will play a key role in coordinating public safety when World Cup matches arrive in Seattle. We get more live from KIRO News Radio's Corwin Hake.
If a public safety issue emerges during the Cup, the dozens of agencies involved will turn first to this man.
John Diaz, Chief of Security for the Seattle Local Organizing Committee.
Diaz spent 30 years with Seattle Police Department, including 4 years as chief. Casey Broom with State Emergency Management says that experience is key to the former chief's current job.
John knows everything about the city, has had a successful spot as chief, and then also just knowing all of the coordinating agencies, right? With King County, he's worked with a number of these folks for decades, right? And so really understanding who the points are to be able to pull this effort together was instrumental, and John had that knowledge.
Diaz was lured out of retirement for this role, and he says it took very little convincing.
How could you not be involved in the largest sporting event in history? If somebody says, would you do this, how could you say no to that? So I'm very excited about it.
And Manda and Charlie, Diaz is a big soccer fan, he tells me, and he really doesn't expect trouble. In fact, he expects the World Cup to be a big advertisement for Seattle and its people.
This is the one thing I didn't realize, because Adrian Diaz was most recently the Seattle police chief. John Diaz was a guy back in the early 2010s.
Yeah, he was police chief when there was some trouble around federal oversight of the police department.
All right. Well, thank you for that update, Corwin. It's 8:33.
And Boeing is celebrating a major milestone with one of its biggest customers. American Airlines has taken delivery of its 100th 737 MAX jet during the carrier's 100th anniversary year. American still has nearly 140 Boeing aircraft on order, including additional 737 MAXs and 787 Dreamliners. The delivery comes as Boeing works to ramp up production in Everett.
Time to get a check on traffic now. Every 10 minutes, Chris Sullivan is here.
And I think the only real surprise we have is that for our I-5 northbound drivers may have forgotten what reality looks like without having the express lanes open in the northbound direction because of Revive I-5. This is our first real commute with the system back to normal during this 1 month reprieve, and we're looking at an hour and a half from Federal Way to Seattle, a 20-minute delay minimum. It's an hour alone from South Center. I mean, we're talking bumper to bumper, not moving molasses from the beginning of Boeing Field all the way past I-90 into downtown. 509 and 99 are way more backed up than we've seen over the last 6 months. And we have the West Seattle Bridge bumper to bumper from before the golf course all the way over. It is ugly. Now, we are getting better from south to north. I mean, there are some brake lights through Nisqually, but a 45-minute trip to Tacoma isn't out of line. Valley Freeway's back under 50. The S-curves, the Renton S-curves, are bumper to bumper and really, really tough to get through, but they get better the further north you go. We're back under 50 minutes, Renton to Bellevue. The Lake Bridges are both okay. I mean, 25 minutes to go from Bellevue to Seattle's manageable. About an hour and 20 from Everett to Bellevue, about an hour from Everett to Seattle. There are some brake lights through the Alderwood Mall location, and for people who maybe haven't been driving that for a little while, probably didn't realize that they're building a new bridge over the freeway there, right there at 196th. So there's a rather large construction zone and some new things to look at. And there are brake lights through Marysville. Give yourself a few extra minutes there. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Seems to be getting a little brighter in Seattle, or is that just me? All right. We're going to eventually see
You are
sun
bright.
breaks. Of course. Always optimistic. Sun breaks for the afternoon for all of us. You're likely still seeing some showers here and there. 62 for tomorrow, mainly dry, 66. And then here comes the warm-up Thursday into the low 70s, mid-70s Friday, 80 Saturday, and 90 on Sunday. Right now in Seattle, a little bit of a sun break. It's 53.
Seattle's morning news. Always live, always connected. Stream, watch, subscribe, and share at mynorthwest.com.
Big week for lawmakers on the House Oversight Committee as two key interviews are scheduled as part of the investigation into convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
Let's bring in ABC News investigative reporter Peter Haralambous. Peter, who do we expect to hear from?
Yeah, today we're expecting to hear from Leslie Groff. This is Epstein's former executive secretary who worked for him for about 2 decades, someone who is so ubiquitous in his life that her name appears 160,000 times in the Epstein files. Epstein once even described her as a, quote, extension of my brain. Not only was she deeply involved, but according to prosecutors, they investigated her. She was listed as a potential co-conspirator in both 2007 and 2019 when prosecutors were probing Epstein's conduct. So certainly a lot of questions about her role in Epstein's day-to-day life, as well as any potential role in these alleged criminal activities, which she, through her lawyer, has denied.
Peter, a lot of people in the Seattle area worked for this guy. Can you tell us about the expected interview with Bill Gates?
Yes, this is the one all eyes are on in a way, given how high profile Gates is and how, if anything, Epstein has done to kind of tarnish his reputation. Gates is expected to sit down for a transcribed interview tomorrow with the House Oversight Committee. It's behind closed doors, but we'll eventually get a transcript of it. Gates, for his part, has said that his relationship with Epstein was a mistake, that basically they had a few meals because he thought he could be helpful in terms of his philanthropic work, but cut off the relationship after he realized Epstein wasn't interested in that. That being said, there are these big questions about these extramarital affairs that he has acknowledged, and on top of that, why he even initiated this relationship with Epstein years after he pleaded guilty to crimes in Florida.
How long do you think it will be before we get to those transcripts?
If we look back to other transcribed interviews, it takes about a week. So, for example, late last week, we got the transcript from the interview of Pam Bondi. That was similarly one of these transcribed interviews. That was about a week from when the interview actually took place. And I think of all of these interviews we've seen thus far, I think there's the most attention on what Gates will say, given the fact that in the past, he's been able to control his message. There has never really been a format like this where he's basically facing open questions from different politicians for hours.
President Trump officially nominated Todd Blanche yesterday to be the next Attorney General for the U.S. He's serving as acting AG right now. Can you describe his involvement with the Epstein investigation?
Yeah, he is someone who, according to Pam Bondi, was just deeply involved in the actual management of the release of the Epstein files. She denied that she was blaming him, but said in this interview she had with House Oversight last month that he was the one who had the idea of interviewing Ghislaine Maxwell. He was the one who drafted that controversial memo last July where they basically said they weren't going to release any additional documents because they didn't believe there was a client list or any outstanding crimes they could prosecute. And he was the one who was managing the day-to-day release of those files, which, of course, was botched given the fact that they withheld documents, that they had improper redactions, they released sensitive information about victims. He's expected to face a lot of questions during his confirmation about his exact role there and whether or not he's fit to serve based on the example he set during his year-long management of that affair.
Back to Bill Gates for just a moment. When you search the connection between Epstein and Gates, someone named Melanie Walker comes up. Who is that?
Yeah, this is someone who came up yesterday, I believe, first in a Wall Street Journal report, I believe. And I think we'll see some more questions about this tomorrow when he begins to face questions. She's a doctor who says Donald Trump, who was apparently had close ties to both Gates and Epstein. This was really, again, elucidated yesterday in a Wall Street Journal report. She apparently had close ties with both of these individuals. She was a confidant to both Gates and Epstein, and her lawyer now says that she was in a coercive relationship with Epstein. So really a lot of questions that we have not heard Gates answer about this relationship, these ties, whether he was aware of that alleged coercive relationship. So a lot to see tomorrow, when he faces questions on that.
That is ABC News investigative reporter Peter Haralambous.
What's coming up in traffic, Sully?
Well, we're going to take a look at what is now normal traffic on northbound I-5. Big delays coming up from South Center. We'll break it down next.
It is 8:40 on KIRO News Radio.
Remember when you didn't have to think about energy? You just had it? Well, now you're talking midday crash, the sleepless nights, the moments where you catch yourself thinking, what happened to me? Well, here's the thing. Nothing's wrong with you. Your hormones just stopped holding up their end of the deal. At Juvacor Health and Wellness Center, hormone replacement therapy isn't a guessing game. It starts with a real sit-down conversation with a female provider who's heard your story before. She hears it every single day. Dr. Lucy Hostetter is a board-certified physician. She has spent 7 years doing one thing exceptionally well, helping women feel like themselves again. Your treatment is built around your labs, your symptoms, and your life. And the follow-up is real because feeling better shouldn't be a one-point appointment promise. Now, with 2 convenient locations, Tacoma and Bellevue, they expanded from their flagship home at Seattle Regenerative Medicine Center. Great care is now closer than ever. Stop Googling symptoms at 2 in the morning. Start a conversation with someone who actually has answers. JuvaCoreHealth.com. That's JUVECoreHealth.com. Feel like yourself again.
What if you could have the most reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? During the Xfinity Summer Savings Event, now through June 15th, new customers can get our best price on gig Wi-Fi, just $50 a month for 5 years. And get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. It's Wi-Fi that finds and fixes problems before you even notice them, like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense. Plus, add 1 line of Xfinity Mobile Select and you can save an average of $60 a month over Verizon and AT&T. You can even try it free for a year. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities during the Xfinity Summer Savings Event. Get it now at Xfinity.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Savings based on 1 gig internet and 1 mobile select line compared to similar Verizon and AT&T plans over 5 years. After 12 months, regular rates apply to mobile select. Xfinity internet required. Speeds vary. Use of fiber coaxial cable.
Hey, Jake Skorheim here. If your summer home improvement list has a new roof, siding, or a gutter upgrade, you owe it to your home to give Valentine Roofing a call. And once again, they've been awarded the best in the Pacific Northwest for roofing by the Seattle Times in 2025. And right now, qualified homeowners can take advantage of $0 down and 0% financing with 6 months deferred interest when paid in full within the promotional period. Financing subject to approved credit. Call 206 Roofing today, and remember, when you see the red Valentine van, you know your home is in good hands.
At 8:43, we check traffic on the 3s with Chris Sullivan.
And we've been rolling relatively accident-free for the last little bit, which is good. But you have weather, and you have a heavy Tuesday, and we have our I-5 express lanes back to their normal rhythm. And we are seeing kind of our first real commute, normal commute since January. And we're looking at Federal Way to Seattle, paying the price on that. That one's an hour and a half. That drive. That is a 20-minute delay. It's an hour alone from South Center. Bumper to bumper all the way up from South Center up through I-90. And what's caught up in this is people are realizing that, seeing the travel times as they head out. 509's backed up out of Burien. 99 is as well. The West Seattle Bridge is backed up all the way to the golf course. So that's kind of the ripple effect of no longer having the express lanes open in the northbound direction. They are open southbound, but we do have some slowing there getting through that area. The heaviest braking on I-5 is really right around Linwood through the construction zone there. It's going to take you 40 minutes from Linwood and an hour to Seattle out of Everett. 405 though, it's about normal. About an hour and 20-minute trip from Bellevue, an hour all the way from Linwood. So really slow there. We're also seeing significant braking south of Marysville on I-5. Haven't been able to find anything there. Give yourself 30 minutes, though, from Arlington to Everett. Lake Bridges 520 is not terrible. Once you get up to Montlake, it is going to crawl up to I-5. But for I-90, bumper to bumper across Mercer Island, you need 30 minutes on I-90, 20 on 520 to go from Bellevue to Seattle. 50 minutes rented to Bellevue Valley Freeway, though, starting to clear out under 45. Again, reports of a stalled box truck right at the top of Tiger Mountain in the left-hand lane, and now a car fire near Mounts Road on northbound 5. I'll have more for you on those ones in 10. KIRO News Radio Real-Time Traffic, I'm Chris Sullivan.
We're going to start to see some sun breaks today. Still scattered showers in 62, but that heavy rain is moving on. For tomorrow, mainly dry, 66, and then here comes the heat. Starting Thursday, we'll be in the low 70s, mid-70s Friday, around 80 on Saturday. Lots of sunshine and warming up to near 90 on Sunday. The official forecast is 90 on Monday, with the record being 88. Right now in Seattle, still mostly cloudy and 53.
Coming up, G. Scott stops by. We're hearing from recent college grads about what it's like entering the working world amidst the AI revolution. G has some thoughts coming up next on Seattle's Morning News.
Please be advised,
You may want to stop eating the following foods immediately: broccoli, kale, bean sprouts, blueberries, quinoa, spinach.
Wait, what? I thought those were good for me.
Turns out, not for everyone, because what's healthy for one person can cause inflammation for another. And the only way to really know what your body needs is to listen to it.
Listen how?
That's where Viome comes in. Viome is a simple, at-home gut health test that looks at your body's real-time biology using RNA to understand what's happening inside you right now. When your results come in, you'll learn exactly which foods to eat, which to avoid, and which supplements are right for you, all based on the world's largest RNA-based human biology database and thousands of clinical research studies. And many people who use Viome report more energy, better digestion, and a better mood within months. So stop guessing. Start knowing. Learn more at Viome.com/gut. V as in Victor, IOME.com/GUT. And use coupon code GUTHEALTH50 to save $50 off your purchase. Viome. Trust your gut.
Guys, want long-term health you can count on? It starts with knowing your numbers. This June, for Men's Health Month, Revive Seattle is offering a free comprehensive wellness panel, a $400 value, including testosterone, blood sugar, heart health, and more. Take control of your health today and stay strong for the long haul. Offer ends June 30th. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com today.
1-877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877 Cars for Kids to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
Jason Rantz here. If your water heater is getting older, leaking, or running out of hot water, CM Heating has an affordable solution. Get a new gas or electric water heater installed starting at just $44.99 a month. With CM Heating's Comfort as a Service program, you'll get lifetime repairs and maintenance at no extra charge. Parts and labor covered for life. Plus, same-day installation is available in many cases. Schedule your free estimate today at cmheating.com.
License number CMHEAHL 750LP.
Seattle's morning news. Hear it live, stream it online, watch the show, or catch the podcast anytime on mynorthwest.com.
Well, here he is joining us now from the G and Ursula show every weekday 9 to noon here on KIRO Newsradio. G. Scott, good morning, G.
Hey, good morning,
What's
Charlie.
happening over there?
We're off to a great start, right?
These headphones are cooked.
Yeah.
So I have no idea what's going on here. So let's talk about AI, since that never gets talked about at all.
Yeah.
Right here in our own backyard, Noah Hurd, by the way, this was in the Seattle Times. Shout out to the Seattle Times. Noah Hurd, a 30-year-old right now, he is about to walk across the stage at UW Tacoma. And he's doing this with a computer science degree. He's done everything that he's supposed to do. He taught himself how to fix the family computer as a kid. He taught himself a programming language. He built a whole video game on his own. He is trying to chase, like a lot of people, that six-figure plus dream. And the thing is he's now graduating or walking into a buzzsaw. As you all know, and you guys have heard the news, what has been going on in the last year. Recently, Oracle just cut 30,000 jobs. Meta just cut 8,000 jobs. Microsoft, it's doing its buyouts for those getting ready to leave the company. So the kid himself said it's not really looking good as he's graduating with a computer programming degree. So I just wanted to take this time to just talk about AI in itself and how AI isn't just coming for jobs. It's also coming for the ladder. There's a ladder sometimes out here going into corporate America. And our generation, Manda, Charlie, when we were coming up, I would say that education was one of the equalizers out there. You know what I mean? You know, it's one of those things where you can't pick your daddy, but you can pick a book, you know? And so I know for me, I was motivated by education because my mom wouldn't just let it go. Jeez, every conversation revolved education. Like, woman, would you please be quiet? But she knew and understood then that that's the only way to climb that ladder. Well, if we're still talking about that same ladder, or we're talking about this computer science degree, the bottom rung that used to be entry level is gone.
Yep.
Well, what do you mean, G? Where's it gone to? Well, it's gone to the bots. It's gone to AI. So you missed that part of the ladder. So then as you try to get up top, because you try to go above that because there's no more entry level, that's the part that is tough. Because now the country club aspect comes into play. What I mean by that is this. If you know people, or if your family knows someone, then you have an opportunity to go and get those jobs. But let's tell the truth about jobs, okay? And I know nobody wants to have this conversation, so that's why you guys bring me onto the show. A lot of these jobs, air quote jobs, they don't even really make it to the public. Well, technically they do, but they just go through the motions. But most companies, most big companies already know who they're going to hand the job to. Would you guys agree?
Yes.
Huh?
Absolutely.
Well, I'm not making this up, right? I'm not making this up because a lot of companies, they call their friends. Hey, friend, come get this job. They call their nephew. Hey, come get this job. So not everyone has access to that. So AI isn't just coming for jobs. It's coming for that ladder. So the ladder, if you think about it, the first, second, and third rung towards the bottom, those are gone. Now you have to have an opportunity. So what can you do to get up towards the top? And you guys always ask me, what's the fix? So I'm going to throw this at you, Charlie. What can you do?
It's a tough one because I think to your point, there is a technology company in town that basically will only hire from a select few universities. If you were to have gotten your computer science degree, for example, at UW-Tacoma, that might not be the university they wanted you to go to. And so what do you do there? Because now not only do you have AI, you don't have the right degree. This is a process that is not going to turn out well.
Would you guys agree that most companies, and when I say most, 80% of companies hire their friends and who they know?
I would say so.
Yeah, I think.
Then you go through the legal motions to make it all okay.
Sure. And it gets you that alumni network as well. I think we're speaking the same language. Oh, you went to XYZ University. Well, yeah, we'll hire that guy. We don't know him directly, but we know where he's coming from or she's coming from.
So basically,
last word.
It's just a country club at the top.
It's 8:54. We're running out of time. You may be excused.
All right, Sully, one last traffic report.
And we are looking at an hour and a half sustained from Federal Way into Seattle, with an hour of that from South Center. 20-minute delays. It's just bumper to bumper and back to reality without the express lanes in that direction. So we're seeing 99, 509 much heavier than normal, and the West Seattle Bridge backed up to the golf course. The northbound 405 corridor, we're braking right there basically at the Family Fun Center all the way up through 44th. You're going to need about 50 minutes to go from Renton to Bellevue. That's 15 behind. Valley Freeway really slow at the north end, back up over 50 there. Coming down from the north end, still struggling through Marysville with plus 15 through that corridor, and then about an hour and 20 from Everett to Bellevue, and about an hour or just under from Everett to Seattle. Lake Bridges 90s really heavy today, 30 minutes to get across there. KIRO News Radio real-time traffic. I'm Chris Sullivan.
Showers this morning, sun breaks by afternoon, a high today of 62. It's 53 right now.
Seattle Police Chief Sean Barnes stops by the G and Ursula show coming up next on KIRO News Radio.
It is summertime, which means sunshine, baseball games, beach trips, hiking, fun with the family. And Brad, I'll bet it's easier to pay for with free checking from WaFd Bank.
That's right, Dave. Set your financial goals and stick to them with free checking. No minimum balances or monthly maintenance fees to worry about. Hey, you'll also get spending tools to help you stay on top of your budget. Not only is WaFd Bank rated the best bank, we have more than 200 branches to serve you across 9 western states.
And tell me more about this card control feature I've heard so much about.
Dave, you can view transactions for individual cards, set controls and alerts, and if you forget your card at the restaurant, you can instantly turn it off while you go back to get it. You'll also have access to free tools like Zelle, mobile check deposit, and when those unfortunate times happen, submit fraud disputes right inside the WaFd mobile app.
And don't forget, you can choose from some great-looking debit cards, including Seattle Kraken and Seattle Seawolves cards. So visit WaFdBank.com and open your account today. Non-sufficient funds charges may apply. Member FDIC.
Healthcare costs are rising, and a major driver is hospital prices. They've increased more than 250% over the past 25 years. Families and local businesses are feeling it. At Primera Blue Cross, we're working to change that by negotiating with hospitals to secure fair, responsible prices so you can get the care you need at a cost you can afford. That's coverage that counts. Learn more at coveragethatcounts.primera.com.
You could sleep through the night without thinking twice. You could take a seat in the middle of the theater. You could drive without worry of where the next restroom is. You used to say yes, and somewhere along the way, you stopped. Not because of one big moment, because of 100 small ones. A little more urgency, one more trip to the bathroom at 2 a.m., one more mental note about where the restroom is. It happened slowly enough that it just became you. But it's not you. It's enlarged prostate, and there's a treatment called aquablation therapy, the only ultrasound-guided robotic-assisted therapy for enlarged prostate. Find an aquablation therapist near you. Call Aquablation Seattle at 206-666-2466, 206-666-2466. That's 206-666-2466. All surgical treatments carry risks, and results may vary. Side effects may include urinary symptoms, mild pain, ejaculatory dysfunction, or infection. In rare cases, complications to the urethra and rectum may occur. Aquablation therapy may not be right for everyone. Talk to your urologist to learn more. Visit aquablationseattle.com.
I was walking my dog. I fell and ended up with 3 tears in my meniscus. I was sent to a surgeon and they said the only way to get this fixed is to have surgery. That just wasn't an option. I didn't want to jump into surgery without trying anything else.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. We offer Jamie an alternative to the downtime and potential risks associated with invasive knee surgery. At Sound Pain Solutions, we help patients like Jamie avoid the side effects of painkillers, cortisone injections, and pain following surgery. Our comprehensive approach includes treatments like pressure wave, PRP, and advanced laser. These treatments reduce pain and restore mobility naturally. Now Jamie is able to do everything she enjoys without pain.
I'm grateful for being able to wake up every day and not be in pain. To be able to go about my day has been amazing.
Schedule a free consultation to learn if you qualify for our non-surgical and drug-free joint treatments at soundpainsolutions.com.
Whatever the heat index, stay cool this summer. Your local Bryant dealer can make sure your system is up to the task. Whether it's maintaining your current system or installing an energy-efficient Bryant Evolution cooling system with perfect Humidity Plus technology, your dealer will give you what you need to help your family beat the heat. Learn more and schedule an appointment with a factory-authorized dealer today at BryantNorthwest.com. That's BryantNorthwest.com. Bryant, whatever it takes.
G. Scott here. Safeway wants you to know SunBucks gives qualifying families $120 per child for summer groceries. Some families